Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN,
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
a Cromwell media station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN.
102.5 The Game.
And a good Tuesday morning to you, and welcome into the DDC here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. It is a Preds game day. We're live here at Patron Platinum Club. Darren McFarland and Derek Mason with you. Willie D will join us a little bit later in the show. Elijah Campbell manning things at our Hillside Medical Game Studios. Preds and Ottawa Senators tonight. 7 o'clock puck drop. Pete Weber and Hal Gill will have your call here on these airwaves, and I'll have your pregame coverage starting at 6 o'clock. Another game that the Predators should win, but in professional sports, this is how it works. Both teams are getting paid to win.
Yeah, that's how it is.
And some teams who are out of it don't care, and they truly are thinking about the offseason, their plans, their first trip, what they're going to be doing. And other teams, call up a bunch of young guys, and you know how that works. You're young and scrappy, trying to make your mark in the league, trying to get somebody's attention. You don't care where you are in the standings.
No.
All you care about is how you play and if your coaches like it or not, because you're worried about next season.
It's that first impression. You bring that young guy up, and you say, all right, here's your chance. Either you're ready or you're getting ready, one of the two. And, a lot of times you see, like you said, these young guys really, going all out. And, they make things extremely hard for the more established, the team that's sort of in the playoffs or in the driving seat. I say that. But, you get a young guy and a bunch of young players, and they're just out there just trying to impress the head coach, trying to impress the GM, because they want a job next year, and they don't look at it as we're out of it, we're not playing for anything. Well, they're playing for a job, they're playing for a spot on that roster, and so you can never take a game like this lightly.
Quite honestly, you want a team that hasn't made a bunch of call-ups. You just want high-priced guys out there going through the motions, not trying to get hurt. Because they're like, hey, I make a lot of money. We're not going anywhere. I just don't want to get hurt.
I don't want to spend all season rehabbing.
No. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You want those teams.
How many of those teams are out there?
You don't want the team that's made a bunch of call-ups, because those guys they want to win. They don't care. They're out there trying to make an impression. You want guys that
you don't want a bunch of Rudies.
You want guys. No,
you don't want a bunch of Rudies. No,
you do not want that. If you hear that on the bench, Rudy, oh boy,
you in for a long.
It's going to be a long night. If they're doing the Rudy chant on the bench, oh boy.
Man.
You just want a bunch of old guys, or not old guys that make a healthy portion of money.
Knowing their spot is
They're
secure.
Just secure. They've got a guaranteed contract, and they're like, okay, game 67. All right, just 14 more of these
How many we got go?
Just 14
How many we
more of these babies. And then vacation time.
They've already made plans.
Right, and they just please, like you said, please don't get hurt. I don't want to rehab. I don't want any surgeries. I don't want to rehab. I just want to go have some downtime with the family in the offseason. That's the teams you want. But I don't think the Predators get to dictate that.
Nah, they don't, unfortunately for them.
But they have two. They had it Sunday night in Philadelphia. By the way, that team clearly, they weren't interested in packing it in, even though their season is over. They played to the end. They gave the Predators everything and then some. And then they have Ottawa and Buffalo this week. I mean, 2 more teams completely out of it. So you just don't know what you're getting. Sometimes you look at these matchups and it plays out like, oh yeah, I get it. That other team didn't give a damn. Right? They're just like, all right. They're putting an X every day on the calendar. That much closer.
There's a bunch of X's on the calendar.
Yeah, right. If you also see them Xing out a day on the calendar on the bench, you know it's going to be a good night. Oh.
The NFL season is long, but it's nothing compared to other sports. In this case, hockey, where you're playing a long, grueling season, and you're at one point, like the last 20 games, you're out of it, but you still have to play.
That's
tough.
20 professional hockey games.
That's tough. That has got to be
How
tough.
about baseball? Can you imagine being on game 119 and you're 36 games out of first? 119, 162.
What are you playing for,
just
man?
like, oh.
Oh, man. What are you playing for then? It's not much.
Again, if you're getting paid and you've got that guaranteed money in that contract, like you get in baseball and you get in hockey, those guys, I mean, I think that's how you really find out when somebody's extra special.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's making $22 million a year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's their situation, game 119, and they're 36 games out of first, the guy that's still going like they're a half a game out of first.
Oh, those guys you want.
That's right. That's when that's the makeup of the guy. But you know how that works. But there's other, so many other guys who are like, oh, well, hey, guys. Hey,
other guys straggling in
hey, good to
to
see
the
you.
game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, game.
An hour before the game, they're just coming in.
Just coming in. They're flip-flops. I'll put my clips on,
On the phone.
later on the phone. Texting. I mean, that, and I'm sure you've witnessed that.
Oh yeah, I have witnessed. The shutdown, the putting that thing in third gear. I've seen it. I've played against it, and unfortunately, you've been around guys that, after a while, it's like they are ready to get out the building.
Did you ever go over to the sidelines and say, hey, just a heads up, this team doesn't want to be here today? Like they have no interest in being here today. Did you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Or throw it to me because my guy has he's distracted or he's not good. But either way, like this is a joke. Like this guy that's guarding me, it's on me. He doesn't want to be here or whatever. I don't know.
He's given just enough effort so the coaches won't say anything.
But it's like 62%.
Exactly. Just enough so when they watch it on film, they don't know whether he's trying or not.
71%?
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah. Catch a ball and a guy just basically just grab you.
Yeah.
Really don't want to tackle you, but just grab you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been a part of that.
I can't imagine that you didn't see that over the years.
Mm-hmm. After a while, hey, the guys and the teams that pretty much succumbs to that when they're out of the playoffs and it's like 5 games left in the season.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Congratulations to the Lady Blue Raiders, MTSU. Mm-hmm. Big overtime thriller last night in Toledo, and that was a quarterfinal game in the WNIT, so they march on. They will host Seton Hall on Thursday night. How about that?
Keep on marching. Keep on playing.
Hey, this team is really good. I think that's 27 wins this year.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a heck of a season.
And they're still playing.
The one girl, the freshman center,
I
think she's like 6'6". She had 28 points last night, and I think almost all of them were in the second half. She was like Kansas. She may have had a Kansas jersey on underneath. She's like, I'm going to treat this like Kansas treated the second half of their game on Sunday.
Yeah, they just totally dominated.
Yeah. So congratulations to Rick Enzel and MTSU. They'll have a big game Thursday night as they host Seton Hall. We're going to come back and talk with Tim Corbin. Love our conversation with Corbs, right? Always good to catch up with him. Another loaded show today, but we'll start with him, Tim Hasselback, at noon. We'll talk to Duke's play-by-play guy at 1 o'clock, and Adam Vingan at 11:15. David Poyle, remember, at the GM meetings down in Florida, so his normal visit, Tuesdays at 11:15, has been moved to Thursday this week, so keep that in mind because of those meetings. We'll come back. Tim Corbin, next, here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
All the games are crazy in March, and so are Social Furniture's prices. Shop today at Social Furniture during their end of March sale. You'll find all sofas and sectionals for your home on sale now with same-day delivery. Social Furniture's end of March sale going on now. Enjoy your new sofas and sectionals now with no waiting and same-day delivery. Visit Social Furniture today in West Nashville at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Realizing Geico is your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs is like realizing you can just toss the whole measuring cup into the washer so it won't get gunked up with laundry detergent.
I guess it doesn't work for coffee mugs, huh?
It's something that's been right in front of you this whole time, like how Geico offers 24/7 emergency roadside service to help you when you need it most. Or how athletic wristbands aren't for your wrists, they're for wiping sweat off your forehead.
Great. So, what are headbands for?
80s night at the dance club. Woo!
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance, with even more ways to save when you add boat, motorcycle, and RV insurance, or how a pony is its own animal and not just a baby horse.
So, what's a baby pony called?
Getting more ways to save. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Carrie, can you make sure 8 is cleaned up?
Restaurant Week has Sanjay's tables jam-packed.
Somebody please refill the...
He needs more servers to keep these new customers coming back.
Let's keep these tables turning as fast as possible, okay? Gonna need to hustle.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Want the latest on the Predators from the people that cover them?
Heck of a year so far for the Predators. They've been so much fun to watch.
Join Robbie Stanley for Preds Insiders every Monday at 6.
I feel probably as good about this group of 6 on D.
Presented by Dr. Kelly Rice on Smashville's Best Sports Talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Back here on the DDC, live at Patron Platinum Club inside Bridgestone Arena. Darren McFarland and Derek Mason with you. Let's head over to West End. Let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend. He's Tim Corbin, affectionately known as Corbs. Tim, how we doing?
Hey, good, D. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. You get to make up the schedule, right?
A little bit. Yeah, I get some help, but I approve it, so I know what's going on.
But you have input, right?
I have a little input, yes.
You
yes,
dirty dog. A 4-game series in Hawaii. Golly. That's brilliant. Freaking brilliant. 4 games in Honolulu. Hello.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, you've earned it. How was that trip?
It was good, especially when you win, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. It was a good trip over. Got to see Pearl Harbor. Got to stay in the oldest hotel in Honolulu, which was great. That was a wonderful hotel, a wonderful experience. But I think great for the kids just because we're right down in the middle of the city, and it was kind of the perfect blend of baseball and free time. So I think for them, they really enjoyed it. We stayed that extra day to go over to Pearl Harbor, and we talked about that on December 7th on 2021 here on campus first, and letting them know what they would see, and then just to kind of experience it was great. But we played good baseball, and it was a good way to get on the road for the first time.
Is that the first time you guys have gone over there since you've been at Vanderbilt?
First time at Vanderbilt, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, gone over there with Clemson in my first year in '94, and then went with Team USA in 2000. So yeah, it was good to get back there again.
I hear Turks and Caicos has a really good baseball program. Pretty nice field too. You might want to check them out.
We'll add them to the schedule.
And I'm sure they have a museum there you can check out as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, before we get into more baseball stuff, I did want to ask you to talk about something you're going to do at the Hawk on Saturday morning. Obviously, we know you've got a big series that we're going to get into, but you're obviously there's a military theme. Anytime we've talked to you with whether it's your uniforms or just you guys, it's something near and dear to you and Maggie and the program. And I know you're going to have kind of a salute. Tell everybody about this 5K, or I guess it's called Salute to Service Tour to Hawkins 5K on Saturday morning.
Yeah, we just tried to bring a couple events together, and this one made some sense. So it's just our way of saluting to service and doing it by way of a 5K on Vanderbilt's campus, which I think is good. So, from family and friends and coworkers or Vanderbilt fans, what have you, you just put on your shoes and start running, and it's right through our facilities, which is nice. It's Saturday morning at 9 a.m., but I think it's a good way to be inclusive of what you said we do on, every Sunday with the uniforms. But I think it does a good job of taking an event and coinciding it with, our game that particular night. And there's an award, and there's just some memorabilia that we'll pass out too. So I just think it's a good way to just bring some recognition and awareness again to the areas of our life that are always a big part of why we can do certain things. But just I think more than anything, just to keep that on our awareness meter as much as possible.
And if people are hearing this, they can sign up. Like, is there a cutoff, or do you have the ability this week to still get involved?
Oh yeah, you can get involved as of right now. There's I guess I don't know the schedule for sure, but the I guess your early packet pickup, you can, if you sign up, you can pick that up on Friday, April 1st, between 4 and 6 outside the front gate of Hawkins Field. And then that morning you can do it, I believe it's 7:30 before everything starts at 9. There's going to be a color guard, an anthem prior to, and they'll start it and then pass out some awards at 10:15. They have age groups, so which is kind of cool. But I think it's nice. We'll see how it goes, and then, as I said, be inclusive of other things. There's some prizes, and I think it'll just be kind of a nice day, and the weather's supposed to be nice too. So it goes right along with the memories of honor that we've been part of this year on Sundays, and how our shoes are, what our shoes look like, the makeup of our green shoes, that we have a person of memory on those shoes. So it's kind of a little bit of everything for us, and we're proud to be part of it.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Best of luck with that on Saturday morning. Last week you played Belmont over at First Horizon Park, and I know unfortunately because of our weather situation it got pushed up, and I think you played at noon and you weren't able to get any fans in there, but you're going to be back at it tonight against Lipscomb over at First Horizon Park. I love the fact, look, the Hawk is awesome, great baseball environment, but I also think it's cool that you guys typically have a couple games at First Horizon Park. What I'm sure, considering what it is, and it's not like your guys haven't seen, that they've played in major league ballparks, but what does it mean since it's in their backyard to go play a couple games, maybe a year over at First Horizon?
Well, I think it's a good thing. It's, again, you talk about being inclusive. I think just including local teams with a local professional team in the middle of the city. So I think anytime you do something like that, it's good. And but it also it's very similar to some of the ballparks we play on later. If we're fortunate enough to go to Omaha, it's very similar to Omaha just because of the size of it. And then it's in some ways it's like Hoover too. It's a big ballpark. So I think you don't play. You can play at Tennessee and University of South Carolina as we did this weekend and see some smaller ballparks, but you don't play in ballparks the size of this one. It's bigger than ours, and ours is, I would say, compared to everyone else in the conference, it's bigger. But this one is the biggest. But I think beyond that, it's just being inclusive of Nashville and being part of the community and being able to get into the center of the city where other people may be able to get to the game where they wouldn't be able to get to the games here at Hawkins.
We'll talk with Tim Corbin, Vanderbilt's men's baseball head coach. Now, Coach, before you got on, we were talking, Darren and I were talking about just teams going through a grueling season and trying to stay focused, especially when you don't have anything to play for. Your team has never been in a situation where, at least to my knowledge, where they didn't have anything to play for. But how do you keep these young men so focused when it's a long, grueling season?
I just think staying very localized on what you're doing right now. I think being present is probably something that we all yearn for, and whether it's in our own lives or whether we're in the middle of an ongoing season like we are. But I think the messaging to the kids on a day-to-day basis is staying very present on what we're doing. We don't get ahead of ourselves in any way. Now, if we have to get ahead of ourselves to plan, that's one thing. But I think beyond that, what we're doing, it's just all about staying as intently as we can just on what we're doing here, because these kids have a lot on their plate as it is anyway, just academically and athletically. So I think I just try to bring that to their attention on a daily basis, and that's probably why, not to get off on another subject, but that's why the classroom is so important, because it allows us to do that. After we get back on Saturday night from South Carolina, you get them in the classroom on Sunday, and you just bring some closure to what we just went through, and then open up what we're about to do, which is, on that day, was our lift and academics and talking about what's important there, and then talking about Monday. But it's certainly not talking about things that are futuristic, and it's referring to the past only to learn something from it, but dropping that luggage off really quick because you got to move on to the next event.
Absolutely. You catch Vanderbilt tonight. They're playing Lipscomb at First Horizon Park. 6 p.m. Now, you just got off a 3-game swing with South Carolina. Is your approach any different when you have a 3-game swing? And you guys have a bunch of them. You've already had a bunch of them already against one particular opponent. But when you have these 3-game swings with one opponent, how do you approach that?
Well, I think the first approach is from a pitching standpoint, because you got to line up pitching for the potential of 27 or more innings. So I think that's the first thing. And I think then after that, it just comes down to the singular game itself. And once you approach that based on their pitching and based on the team, then, you just play it. But then you regroup after that game's over and then move on to the next one. I think professional baseball, where they play 3 and 4 and sometimes 5-game series, it's probably a little bit different. But, ours is almost like a football game, and the fact that it's a 3-game series, there's going to be a winner, there's going to be a series winner, and really what you want to do as much as you possibly can is win that series. So you do whatever you can do within that, set up your pitching, set up your roster to try to do that. And then I think when you go through weeks like the one we're going through right now, where you have Lipscomb on the front end and you have Tennessee on the back end, you want to win the week, because if you win the week, then you give yourself a good opportunity to play at home at the end of the year. So our focus is really on the singular game itself, but winning the series and winning the week. And last week we fell short of that, but we didn't lose the week. We were 2-2. So if you're not going to lose it, if you can somehow, that's why the weekday games are so important. Before getting into the weekend, because if you can take care of business like few teams do and stay consistent doing that, then you've got a good chance to do some of the things that you want to do at the end of the year.
Tim, final minute, huge series at your place this weekend. There's going to be no tickets, so you're going to have to pay dearly to get in to see this one in person. What does it mean to have, the program that you've had for a long time, now your rival in the state, in the east side of the state, now they're turning into a big-time program. Obviously, what they did this past weekend, to have two teams like this colliding in our state, what does it mean for college baseball? And what are you expecting this weekend?
Well, I just think when you have teams that are very competitive inside the state, it just helps at the lower levels, because you got a lot of kids that want to go play college baseball at some point. And whether it's going to Lipscomb or whether it's going to Belmont or Vanderbilt or Tennessee, anytime you can bring teams in the public eye in the state of Tennessee and bring some notoriety to the programs, it grows the sport and at the lower levels. And I think that's really important. And Tony's done Tony and his background, that's not a surprise to me at all. I mean, I've talked about him and his program for a long period of time, ever since he started there, because if you look back at his career, he's been a part of winning programs everywhere he's been, and he's had a lot to do with that because of his recruiting eye and his spirit for the game. So they're obviously having a great year, and it's hard to find a team that has any flaws, and that team is certainly, from a pitching standpoint, defensively and offensively, there's not a team like them right now. So they're playing very well. So it's a challenge, but we've got a big game tonight first before we get there, and once we get there, we will. But right now, we've got to bounce back from a loss on Saturday and see what we can do to get our confidence moving in the right direction tonight.
Tim, have a great week. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy everything on Saturday morning. Thanks for all that you do, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, I always appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, that is Vanderbilt baseball coach Tim Corbin. Massive series. Yes, they have a game tonight at First Horizon Park, but massive series against Tennessee Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Hawk. It is going to be a hard ticket. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Come back, more DDC on the other side. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Friday at 8:30 on Robbie and Rexo, we talk with the legend Terry Chris about all things Nashville Predators, presented by Copper Branch on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Markdown Madness is almost over, but Electronic Express is still bringing slam dunk deals. Watch the finals with 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department: computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Experience Markdown Madness at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Has she seen an engagement ring she really loves? A unique look from a top-notch designer? You won't find it at just any store, but you will at Genesis Diamonds.
At Genesis Diamonds, we work with the most sought-after designers in this country. We are proud to feature lines like Tacori, Verragio, Kirk Cara, Henry Dawsey, A. Jaffe, Jeff Cooper, Gabriel, and many more.
Since other jewelers can't get these designers, David says beware of knockoffs.
Often stores will result to copying or knocking off a designer ring just to compete with Genesis. And oftentimes you will actually pay the same, if not more, for that fake.
Why risk it? Genesis has the real deal. Unique, handcrafted, cutting-edge designs and award-winning craftsmanship.
So not only will you get the exact product you wish with the brand you trust, but at a price that you can afford.
Get her the ring of her dreams at Genesis Diamonds.
Every girl wants a designer ring. They don't want Joe in the back room to make a copy. They want the real thing.
Continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
This is Chef John from Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville. Inviting you to come join us for breakfast and lunch. We are offering some exciting new menu items. For breakfast, we have a smoked prime rib hash. Comes with a sunny side up egg, hominy, caramelized onions. It's a great start to your day. We are featuring a sourdough pancake made with a sourdough bread starter. It's a fun spin on the classic buttermilk pancake. As always, Kitchen Notes is serving biscuits all day. Come join us and create a memorable experience here at the Omni Hotel. Food is all about memories for us. We'd like you to start a new memory here at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Hotel.
Breakfast at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers with Windows 11 Pro and get an easy start to your workday. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Tonight,
with the feathery touch.
It's a battle in the association.
Corner three is all the money from Bullock. Dallas leads.
As the LA Lakers head to Dallas to take on the Mavericks. Coverage begins at 6
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Sean Henry. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook every single day. Our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Great stuff, as always. Tim Corbin, Vanderbilt baseball coach. For those who do have tickets, good for you. We want to go. I want to take my son. I want to take some friends and their kids, but it's not for the faint of heart.
You can't get a ticket?
When you look at the prices, it's not for me. It's just not. Love Corpse. Love to see this matchup, but I can't do $450 for 2 ticks.
You just watch it from the comfort of your couch, huh?
We'll have to get together and watch it another way. John the mailman on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. This is going back to our first segment discussion. Says Darren just described every Mets and Orioles season. Wow, where's Willie to respond? But a lot of truth to that, John.
Yeah. He didn't lie.
No, especially the Orioles, man. It's been a while. Woo! I mean, you played in that city, and
I was there for 7 years.
But they were actually good when you were there.
They were, yeah.
Weren't
they had some good seasons, yeah.
But they've been bad for a while. I mean, like really, really bad.
Yeah, they were. I think the 6, 7 years I was there, I know they had a few good seasons. I know once they brought Adam Jones in, and they started to, put players, around that, And they just told me my lights were still on my car, so I need to go turn them off in a minute.
You don't have automatic turn-offs?
I switched them on. I like my lights running all the time.
Yeah.
So it'll run, but I like the fog lights on too.
Yeah, me too.
It's just the top lights that they stay on automatically, but the fog lights don't come
Even
on.
with the car shut off, they'll stay on.
Yep, if I don't switch it off, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I do it, just not knowing. Yeah, so their teams were okay. I think they might have had 1 or 2 playoff runs when I was there, but other than that, yeah, they have been a bad organization.
Yes, they have, for sure. According to Dan Rosen on Twitter, like I said, David Poyle will join us on Thursday rather than today. He's down in Florida at the GM meetings, and I guess one of the things coming out is the salary cap is expected or projected to go up next season to $82.5 million in the NHL. So that is one of the things that's coming out. So let's talk about the news that came out yesterday that we did talk about on the show, where Governor Bill Lee proposed $500 million towards the new Titan Stadium. Okay, so he is asking legislature to approve a $500 million in bonds toward a new Titan Stadium as a part of a budget towards that. But there is a catch, and I love the catch. Thank you for this catch. It is for a new enclosed stadium. A new enclosed stadium, which is what I've said all along is the way to go, not renovating. And I know we're past that now, thank goodness. But the money would only go to an enclosed stadium, not an open-air stadium or a renovated stadium. Thank you, Governor Lee, for that, because that is the right way to go. Of course, the new stadium, if enclosed, would be a part of attracting a Super Bowl or Super Bowls, plural, over years. A college basketball Final Four or college basketball Final Fours, plural, a college football playoff game or national championship game or games, plural, plus concerts, all the big shows that go around the country. You don't have to worry about making up a Garth Brooks concert that they're about to do in a couple of weeks, because the last time you tried to do it, there was lightning and bad thunderstorms, and they had to cancel a show that had 70,000 people that were expected to be at. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. So it would include all of that. And by the way, it's not being biased. It's not living here. It's not like, oh, you're just saying that because, one, you want it, and two, you live here, and this is what you guys do. Yeah, all that's true. But I mean, do you really think someone's making up how attractive this market is? I think we've all figured that out. Leagues have already told, the powers that be, the people that are in all those meetings, how important this market is to leagues. I don't believe for a minute it would be a one-off Super Bowl. I believe there's no reason why Nashville could not be in a rotation. There's no reason why they couldn't be in an NCAA or a playoff, whether it's NCAA Final Four rotation or the playoff rotation, just like Indianapolis does. Indianapolis is in all those rotations.
Yeah.
Nothing against Indianapolis. I've been to Indy many times. There's nothing wrong with that town, but it's not Nashville. Give me a break.
It's cold there.
It's cold. And why are they in a rotation? Why do they get? Because they've got a dome stadium.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why Nashville. You think they regret having dome stadiums all these years in Indy? No. Look what it's done for that market.
No, you're absolutely right from that standpoint. I guess what Governor Lee is saying is, listen, he don't even want a retractable, because obviously if you get a retractable, then the price goes up even more.
I'm sure they've done all the research, and I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure it's pretty significant.
Exactly. So just getting a dome, because I think he would have been specific if he said a retractable.
Well, he just said enclosed.
Enclosed.
But
if you're thinking, it's like, okay,
is that exclude retractable?
You would think if he wanted a retractable,
he would specific.
Yeah, say a retractable roof, because there's a difference between an enclosed dome and a retractable roof. And we know that one is more than the other.
But a retractable roof is enclosed.
Yeah, technically it is.
When it's closed, it's closed.
It's closed, but if it costs less,
there's hard-hitting stuff.
If
when the retractable roof is closed, it's enclosed. Wow.
But I'm sure it costs significant.
I'm sure it's
amount
a pretty
less
yeah.
if you just get it.
Which is
closed
why
all
I
year
said
round.
my preference, my druthers would be retractable roof. That's number one. But having a roof.
Choosy.
But I said,
Lakers can't be choosy.
well, I said, but it's got to be a roof. It's got to be a roof, and if it means then doing the glass dome or whatever the new thing is, and I'm fine with that. I live with that as long as it's got a roof on it, because I was completely against, 100% against renovating. That was the wrong approach. Open air is the wrong approach. Would I want, if I had my druthers, like for example, the Music City Bowl. Sometimes the Music City Bowl is 34 degrees.
Sometimes it's
and
70.
raining, right? And sometimes, like this year,
it's a perfect day.
It is literally a perfect day.
Yeah.
With a sold-out crowd to see Tennessee and Purdue. Beautiful day. We were there doing the show. It was a fantastic day in our city. That's when you want have that puppy open. It was a gorgeous day, perfect day. But half the time it's great. Half the time it stinks.
Yeah.
You want it closed. But if it means, hey, we just can't afford it, like I get it, that's fine. I don't know what the number is. I have no idea. Then, okay, fine. Then just enclose it, and I'm cool with that.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to do something soon here. And I think you do it now while everything is hot, while the city is hot, because just like anything, whether it be the financial market, whether it be, a team or whatever, things are cyclical. They're just up and down, up and down. And what you want to do is either hit it while it's hot or make sure it sustains that, if it's not going up drastically, it's not going down. We're just kind of slowly at a pace. And you don't want to wait around, and keep on going back and forth with this stadium thing. And then all of a sudden, because we've seen it in plenty states or cities where you're the it city, and then all of a sudden they're just moving on to another city. It's just another big city, another up and coming growing city where the cost of living is normal until everybody start flocking and it goes up. So you take advantage of the prosperity that your city is having now. You build the stadium now. Get it over with. Don't keep on pushing it or kicking the can down the road, which I don't think they will. They've done it long enough.
Agreed.
They've done it long enough.
We'll continue this on the other side because there are other discussions. It seems like a trend may be developing. I'll tell you what I'm talking about to wrap up the first hour next.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi, and this is Nashville.
Going to the front of the net, he scores. What a gorgeous move. Roman Yossi.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Tickets are on sale now to see the Nashville Sounds in Hit City this summer. Opening day is April 5th. Get ready to spend your nights at First Horizon Park all season long. There's something for everyone, from weekly giveaways to themed weekends and fireworks shows. Tickets at NashvilleSounds.com.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and it's getting down to crunch time in the tournament. The Final Four is set, and right now FanDuel Sportsbook is giving new customers a $150 instant bonus guaranteed. That's right, you'll get $150 in bonus site credit, and all you have to do is place your first bet of $5 or more. How you bet the bracket's up to you. You can choose from the money line, totals, prop bets, and so much more. I like Duke to get it done. I think Coach K has one more magical run left in him before retirement, which I know is going to make a lot of you happy. But you can take it any way you want to take it. Just make sure you join FanDuel today with promo code ROB. Then you can place your $5 bet to score $150 in bonus site credit guaranteed. Once again, that promo code is ROB on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
Hey everybody, it's me, Chase McCabe, and I'm so excited to be talking about my go-to drink when I'm out and about, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball is the first and most awarded peanut butter whiskey in the world. It's an original, just like me, the suit. I take Screwball as a shot, but it's great on the rocks, in an old-fashioned, an espresso martini, and many more. So next time you're out and about, ask for Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022, Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Be listening this segment. Do not want to turn away. 1, we're going to have a really good discussion. 2, we're going to put you, give you the opportunity to be in the building tonight to see the Predators and the Senators. So keep that in mind. Back here on the DDC, ESPN 1025, The Game on this Tuesday morning. Hope you're having a good day. Let's go to our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Vincent has weighed in from Dixon. Tell D-Mace his headlights will go off on their own in a couple of hours. That is true.
Yeah,
when your battery's dead, they will go off.
I give it at least 6 hours.
Oh, you think they last 6 hours?
Yeah, I think it'll last 6 hours. Yeah, I think it will. But I'm not going to give it that opportunity. On the next break, I'm going to sprint down like what's his name from the Tom Hanks. He played in the movie. Where, God.
You know, Forrest Gump?
Yeah, Forrest Gump. I'm going to sprint down
That's what you're going to look like running to your car?
Exactly.
I'm going to get that on video and turn it into a GIF. Come on.
You have to do the Forrest Gump-esque run, too, like hands flat, just like over moving arms, blank face.
Oh, man.
That's too funny.
Hey, quickly.
Tom in Nashville. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Tom in Nashville on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com said, what about the World Cup? Obviously, that is a part of this equation, too. Exactly. It was not in that article yesterday, but yes, the 2026, that is for sure in the plans as well, to be a host city.
Yeah, any sporting event, major sporting event, whether it be NCAA, World Cup, Super Bowl, championship game or playoff game for college basketball, football, whatever it is, women's basketball, whatever it is, if you build a retractable facility or an enclosed facility stadium, you're going to be in the running to have one of those events. That's just the way it is, especially, that's why I said before we went to break, you need to do it now. Because as much as we love Nashville, there's going to be some other city that's going to become the it city. So, and people are going to start leaving.
Or, here's the other part of this, Derek. Buffalo's getting a stadium, and again, Buffalo's not a good, again, not to be disparaging, nothing against folks from Buffalo. Know some fine folks from
people that live in Buffalo are great.
I know, but
I'm not moving to Buffalo.
Exactly. That's the best way to put it.
They're great. They live there. They're from there. They're great. People who are there now are great, but I'm not moving there.
Right, but their new stadium is not, well, and it's not even enclosed, so I think they're crazy. I think they're absolutely crazy. But
they can't have an enclosed stadium.
Yeah, yes, they can. They can.
No, they can't.
They actually can.
That takes away from the nostalgia of, playing in Buffalo and it's cold and the advantage.
Here is something I've never understood.
Lambeau will never have a dome.
Okay, I'm glad you're bringing this up. Because I've been wanting to go there for a good while. You have been in these meetings. You have been a part of a players' association. You guys, when you are in an association, when you're in a union, you are looking out for each other.
Yes.
Right? The plan is to enhance whatever you guys are doing, right? Whatever your craft is, whatever you're always trying to enhance it, right? Whether it's salaries or time off or whatever. You're in it for you. That's the whole point of it. Why is this discussion never had? So you say, oh, you got to have Buffalo. It's got to be outdoors and cold in a blizzard. I know. I've been to Buffalo in a blizzard at a Bills game, and it was miserable. I mean, it's miserable.
Not for the fans? Not for Bill fans?
Miserable.
No, the Bill Mafia is never miserable.
Well, good for them, but I don't have season tickets to the Bills, and I'm not planning on. First of all, I can't even jump off anything and land on a table anyway. Probably blow up my other knee. Why would you not want conditions to be? Why would Josh Allen not be telling the city of Buffalo, I would like a roof, please, so my numbers don't go down in November and December and possibly January or February? Because if my numbers are up, my salary goes up. If my numbers come down, they have a reason to tell me about my numbers coming down and the price tag coming down. Why would Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, by the way, I was reading this to you during the break. Guess who's now also talking about a new stadium?
Kansas City
Chiefs President Mark Donovan was asked about a potential new stadium deal. He said the team has considered options in the state of Kansas. They like Arrowhead and the legacy of Lamar Hunt Stadium, but have been pitched by Kansas City developers on a bunch of options. It's something to watch. This coming from Kevin Clark. Why would these guys, especially these big money quarterbacks and receivers and running backs that play in these cities, that it's only natural, by the way. You remember that silly Buffalo-New England game on Monday Night Football? You remember that?
Yeah.
Was that fun for you going to have stats on that night? Is that going to help you get a new contract?
It's not about stats that night.
Oh, really?
No, it's not.
Oh, so whenever you're looking to get paid, it's not about stats.
It's not about that particular game
so
of stats.
Your agent goes to the front office and says, yeah, I know the stats were down, but remember, it was 60-mile-per-hour winds. And
exactly.
You should give him a raise for dealing with that. Look, if it was normal conditions, he would have thrown for 390 and 4 touchdowns.
If your contract was dependent on that one game, hell, you don't need the contract. I'm not giving you a contract.
It's not one game. It's months, Derek.
It's only a month and a half that they're playing in frigid weather.
A month and a half.
And they're playing half of it away.
That could be 4 home games.
It could be 2.
It could be, but it could be 4.
But it could be 2.
And over the course of a career, that could cost you a lot of money. Why would these guys not be telling their franchises, you don't think Peyton Manning benefited from playing indoors half of the year, every year for his entire career until he got to Denver?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
You think Drew Brees benefited from playing the bulk of his career half of the time in a dome stadium.
And you know where those individuals didn't want to go play a game? In December and January?
Exactly.
In New England, in Buffalo, places like that.
What do you think Tom Brady's stats would have looked like if he would have played in an enclosed stadium?
He's the GOAT, man. I don't know what his stats would look like.
He could have been the runaway goat. He could have been just a whole flock of goats, a herd of goats, whatever they're called, a gaggle of goats. I'm sure that's not right. He could have been all of the above. He could have been the GOAT of everything if he would have played indoors.
Here's the deal.
He got screwed for 20-something years on the weather in November and December. Honestly, why would players not tell teams, I want to be indoors? I don't want the elements affecting my game.
Because you have no say.
You don't think Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes have say?
No, heck no.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have say, really?
On what they going to do with the stadium? Hell no.
Has Aaron Rodgers been running the Packers for the last 2 years?
It doesn't matter, but I'm pretty sure if he wanted it, I'm pretty sure he probably wanted a dome. But he can't just go in there and walk in and say, hey, listen, I want a dome. So y'all need to build a dome.
Hey, if he said it, they probably built it.
Man, you have people, it'd be a mutiny in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Are you telling me if Patrick Mahomes walked into Mark Donovan's office and said, hey, man, sure would like a enclosed stadium, retractable roof or a dome, sure would be nice. You don't think he's listening? You don't think I'll take that under advisement?
And he would say, he'd have his head down, look up at him. Oh, okay. Duly noted. And get back to what he was doing.
What was he doing? Wordle?
I think so.
Hey, Patrick, I need a 5-letter word that starts with P and it's got an O and a U in it.
It's players, as much as, we enjoy. I played in 2 open stadiums, here, and I didn't complain about, when it got to, especially not here because the temperature's usually
You'd
mild.
already be in Canton.
Yeah.
If you didn't play here in Baltimore, you'd already be in Canton. You'd be doing this show with a gold jacket on rather than a red 3D Hall of Fame jacket. You still have a guy.
It's coming. I know it is.
You already have that gold jacket.
We didn't complain. Players didn't complain. We just went out there. We enjoyed it because, at least to me, I'm going to say this, at least to me, it brought back the true essence of why I played football. I didn't care about playing in some gymnasium or some, turf field when I was young. Hell, I don't even think they had them. But turf field when I was young. No. In December, after watching the Lions get beat down, we wanted to go outside and play football. We didn't care how much snow was on the ground.
Hold your silly thoughts, okay? Silly man. We've got a lot of reaction on our text line as well. We'll continue this on the other side because I think D-Base he's had too many cold games. He's lost his mind. By the way, here's a guy who always complains about being cold. Right now, be caller 615-737-1025, 737-1025. Caller 6, you'll win a pair of tickets to come to tonight's game. Preds Senators. Sit in those game changer section. Awesome seats. Good luck. We'll talk to you in hour number 2 next.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
When you cut lawns for a living, reliability matters. The Kubota commercial lineup with purpose-built mowers like the Z700 Zero-Turn, SZ Stand-On, and W-Series Walk-Behind decrease downtime and increase productivity. A comprehensive fleet program with special discounts and free loaners helps grow your business one perfectly manicured lawn at a time. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
Come see why Coleman Tractor Company is one of the largest Kubota dealers in Middle Tennessee, Paris, Clarksville, Nashville, and their new location in White House. Since their doors opened in 1898 in England, Arkansas, Bank of England Mortgage has been providing down-home exceptional service. Bank of England's success is due to the talent of their loan officers and their access to hundreds of mortgage products at the industry's best pricing. Bank of England Mortgage has 3 Middle Tennessee locations ready to serve you. Go to BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
If you snore, it may be a sign of a more serious, possibly life-threatening condition. Most people think of snoring as a nuisance, but it's a much more serious medical condition than you think. Snoring has been associated with chest pain, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, chronic pain, obesity, headaches, and sore throat. Take a listen to what some of our patients are saying about the revolutionary Vivo system.
Right after I started using it, I noticed the results really, especially with the snoring. My sleep apnea episodes are a fraction of what they were before. This product's phenomenal. It changed my life.
I am 100% happy that I did this, and I'm thankful every day that I have it.
If you're curious about our sleep devices, call now for a sleep consultation. Don't let your spouse have to sleep in the guest room, and don't risk the severe health complications of snoring and sleep apnea.
Dr. Kelly Rice is certified to provide the Vivo system to open the airway for a better night's sleep. Call 615-373-4488 or go to BrentwoodSleepApnea.com to see which therapy can work best for you.
Individual results may vary. Always seek the advice of your health provider with any questions regarding a medical condition.
Coach's Corner Sports Grill, nestled in Spring Hill, Tennessee, is your hometown sports bar. Coaches, players, grandparents, parents, kids, all are welcome. Hang out after a ball game or watch your team win on the big screens. Try their signature hand-patted burgers from the All-American to the X's and O's. Or choose something from the dog pound, such as their chili cheese dog. And don't forget to wash it all down with their 20-plus beers on tap. Coach's Corner Sports Grill, open every day with daily food and drink specials for lunch and dinner. Off Port Royal Road in Spring Hill. Online at coachescornersportsgrill.com.
At Wendy's, March is madness. With our breakfast Baconator. Sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, both made with fresh cracked eggs, or even a honey butter chicken biscuit. And we're just getting warmed up. Get 50% off the official breakfast of March Madness when you order through the Wendy's app. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
For a limited time at participating Wendy's via app offer only. Account registration required. No discount applies to taxes or fees. Not valid with any other offer.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, with Darren, Donick, and Chase middays from 10 to 2. Talk amongst themselves.
It's not a star-studded group. They're not all there.
ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game.
Second hour, DDC. We're live at Bridgestone Arena. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason with you. Willie D will join us here shortly. Elijah Campbell manning things at our Hillside Medical Game Studio. Preds and Senators tonight. Congratulations, Danny Staley. Not Don Staley, but Danny Staley. Lucky caller 6. Danny, it pays to listen to the DDC here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Go enjoy the game tonight right here where we are in that Game Changer section. That's called Section 102. It's really nice. You'll like the seats. Good job. Let's go to our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Unnamed texter. No, it looks like Andy. Andy says Brady would have been the goat's goat in a covered stadium. Let's go over to our goat desk and find out what is the official term for a lot of goats.
A group of goats is officially known as a herd, trip, or tribe.
Did I say herd? Did I say? I said.
You might have said herd.
I may have said herd.
Herd is one of the terms you threw out there.
So I got one of them right. So a herd, did you say a trip?
Or a tribe.
Herd, trip, or tribe?
A trip. Why would it be a trip of goats? A tribe of goats. I like that.
I understand that. I get that.
Tom Brady would be a tribe of goats if he would have been playing indoors his entire career. Now, let's get back to this. You've got brain freeze. Clearly, you came in this morning with, I'm pretty sure, the sunroof open, the windows down, and you've lost your mind. The man who has complained to me for years and years on this show about being cold.
Absolutely.
The man that has complained to me about not being in the Hall of Fame, which he has a legit gripe. He should be in Canton. He is a Hall of Fame receiver. He would be in there. He would have already given the speech. I would have been there going, Days! Willie and all of us would have been there. Chase, we'd all been there in Canton going, yeah! Woo! Upper deck, of course. You wouldn't have got us tickets. We'd had to pay for them. But we would have been there going, Davis! Woo! You would have been in there.
Yeah. Had I
not played outdoors your entire career.
That
affected your stats.
No.
You are crazy to think. Why would you not think that?
Okay, on a windy day or a rainy day.
Oh, I'm sure you never played in those.
Absolutely. The stats
what you have,
would
like
have
just
been,
2 or 3 of those in your lifetime, in your career?
Maybe more.
Yeah, maybe like
but
33.
It's for me, and I think I played in every stadium built before 2010. 10-11.
So
I played
before
in every
Jerry's
stadium.
World, before the new one in Newark and all that, because they all came in about the same time.
Yeah,
it was right that time.
Yeah, so I played in the new stadium.
That was
MetLife.
2010.
Yeah,
I think.
MetLife. I played in that one because I was with the Jets, so I played in that one. So I played in just about every stadium.
Is it windy in that stadium?
Yeah, the Jets stadium is
ridiculously windy.
It is, especially the old stadium.
Does that affect passing?
Well, we had a good day that day in passing when the wind was swirling.
That was in warm-ups. I'm talking about during the game.
No. Yeah, I did work I put in a lot of work. I made one individual look very silly that whole day, trying to cover me. One of the best defensive backs in the league.
And I'm sure you told him.
No, I didn't tell him. I didn't have to. But but I mean, yes, you would love to play in ideal conditions. But when you're talking Buffalo, Green Bay, teams like that, historically they played in cold weather games. I can't see, even though there's a high possibility that they will, meaning Buffalo, but I couldn't see Lambeau ever getting a enclosed stadium. I'm about 75 to 80% that Buffalo won't get an enclosed stadium. Chicago, I don't think they will get an enclosed stadium because it's just something about it that advantage to them.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
That later in the year in the NFC, when Tampa's coming to town after they play majority of their games in warm weather, then they come to Chicago in December, minus Tom Brady, and they got to play a Chicago Bear team, and it's minus 10 degrees outside. Or you got to go to Lambeau, and it's minus 10 to 15. Or you have to go to Buffalo, where it's frigid and winds blowing and it's snowing. Or you got to go to New England, where, it was minus 10 degrees in the playoff game. They're used to playing in it. Other teams are not. So when you come to that type of environment, you feel you have an advantage. So I don't see it. I think it would be very highly unlikely that Buffalo gets a,
well, they're not. I mean, the renderings are out. It's going to be covered over the seats, but it's open air, which
exactly.
They're crazy.
That's just
I'm
what
Josh Allen's agent. I'm telling him to go talk to management.
That's an advantage for Buffalo. The Bills Mafia enjoy it. We may not enjoy it, but they do. Lambeau will never get it.
I'm asking you about the PA. Why isn't the PA looking out for their players, telling them to have
PA don't care about that.
Oh,
they don't care about it.
They don't care about their association getting paid?
It's never come up in a meeting where guys have had a gripe with open air stadiums in the North.
Because
never.
You guys haven't thought about it.
I'm
here to help.
It's not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly.
Patrick Mahomes needs to be in the Kansas City office going, yes, I would like a roof, please.
But it's
so
not
I
gonna
can
fly.
put up 6,000 yards passing every year.
And then they're gonna say, well, where's this money coming from? Can you give us some of that money, some of that $500 million we gave you? Can you give it back to us so half of it can go to a enclosed stadium?
And he would say, when we win the Super Bowl every year, in the merchandise sales and the tickets and all the money you make from Super Bowl victories that you've already seen, and it'll only enhance, you'll be able to pay for all of this.
But they want to
my salary and the new stadium.
But the Super Bowl is typically played where? Either in an
Nashville,
enclosed stadium,
Nashville soon,
enclosed stadium, or somewhere where it's warm, right?
Yes,
one or the other. So there's no, you can't use the weather as an excuse in those situations unless you're playing in Miami and it's raining. Okay?
Well, if you're Kansas City and you have home field advantage throughout.
That's what you want, for them to come to your stadium in the cold.
If I'm Ryan Tannehill, I'm asking them to make sure it's enclosed because I would say to them, I'm not throwing those 3 picks if it's enclosed. We win. The wind did it, Derek.
I doubt that.
Well, that's Ryan Tannehill's story.
Well, they really
I didn't say it was
they're
true.
They're really not going to listen to Ryan Tannehill. They're really not going to listen to him. They're going to say, hey, let's keep it open.
Apparently they are.
Let's keep it open because Ryan's going to come here every year and we're going to win.
If I'm Ryan Tannehill, I'm like, man, if we were in an enclosed stadium, I would have thrown those 3 picks.
He'd have still thrown those 3 picks. Because the weather wasn't bad.
I didn't say I disagree with you. I said that would be my story if I was Ryan Tannehill.
Okay, what was the weather that playoff game last year?
It was windy. I'm telling you, it was windy. My hair.
Darren, stop it.
I was here.
Your nose is growing as
windy.
you speak.
Your
nose is growing as you speak, okay?
You can hear it. It's like
wind is blowing now.
That first pass.
Darren, wind is blowing now.
Yes.
Okay.
And he would throw, in these conditions, he would throw 3 more picks, maybe 4.
Well, if that's the case, I'd rather have the last year of Peyton Manning's career than have Ryan. If that's the excuse you're going to use, because Peyton couldn't throw the ball 10 yards down the field in no condition.
Right.
Because
if he
of
was
his
back
arm.
in Indy,
they won a Super Bowl.
He would have put 2 more years on his career if he was back in Indy. Couldn't throw outdoors.
He couldn't throw indoors.
Couldn't throw outdoors.
He couldn't throw indoors.
Couldn't throw in Denver. Couldn't throw in the high altitude. Outdoors.
He couldn't throw in Indianapolis when he hurt his arm.
He's 2 more years.
Where was the Super Bowl played? In a warm place, right? Still couldn't throw. I'm just saying. Still couldn't throw, right? Absolutely. So it has nothing to do with, again, I'm going to go back, and, in regards to the Titans in their stadium. And we can talk about this, and it's going to continue to be a hot button topic throughout the city until, they decide on what they're going to do. And then, obviously, even once they decide what they're going to do, it's still going to be a hot button topic for a lot of people. $500 million, the governor said he will allocate toward building a new stadium. It costs $5 billion to build out in
so far.
but that's 2 teams.
That's
and California, it's going to cost more. The going rate for a new stadium is about $1.6 billion.
Roofed or just a new? Buffalo's $1.4 billion. Like I said,
and there's no roof.
Right.
So just the stadium, period.
Yep.
1.5, 1.6.
It's going to, as it said in the article, it's going to be close to $2 billion here.
Exactly. So if the governor says we will allocate $500 million, where's the money coming from?
Yep. That's things. We'll continue the discussion. By the way, unnamed texter says, my goodness, if New England was domed, the Titans would have lost to them 59-0. Well played. You should put your name on it so I can give you credit for that. I mean, whoever you are, you should put your name on it so I can give you credit. We'll come back and talk with Adam Vingan. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good. Adam Vingan from The Athletic. We'll talk about this Predators team. We do that next.
Sometimes their glass is half full.
That was unbelievable. It was the best NFL draft they've ever had.
Sometimes glass half empty.
What are we getting ourselves into here? Tough game.
And sometimes it's all about the numbers.
1 win, and they've gone on this streak, and now they're at 500.
Hang out with Darren, Donick, and Chase from 10 to 2 during your workday. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Nissan. It's March, and you gotta ask yourself one question. Do you feel lucky? Well, do you? We hope you feel lucky, because we're handing out luck all month long in Newton. We have great deals in both our sales and service departments. We have deals on the cars, trucks, and SUVs you've been looking for. That's not all. We're gonna give you top dollar for your trade, and we're going to give you a great deal on your next car. Essentially, save you money and make you money at the same time. Thomas Jefferson once said, I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more of it I have. Well, at Newton, we're here ready to work hard for you. to see if we're lucky enough to earn your business. Your luck can begin at home by starting your deal with Newton FastPass. Don't wait. Find your luck at newtonnissan.com. See website for details. No shame for the lame disclaim.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
It's the official Bud Light Preds Watch Party as your Nashville Predators take on the Buffalo Sabres this Friday. Puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and Nashville SC's new home, Geodis Park, is nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Secure your season tickets now. Come on and grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22tix.
For years, you've known Genesis as the premier jeweler here, where you can always find the most sought-after brands in fashion and bridal jewelry. Genesis carries the best of the best, brands that others aren't even allowed to carry. But now, Genesis takes it to a whole new level with a spectacular collection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes. If you've ever dreamed of owning the world's most revered brand, you owe it to yourself to get to Genesis now and see watches people wait years to get. Luxury pre-owned Rolex Submariners, Hulks, Daytonas, Batmans, and so many others. We've scoured the country hand-selecting only the best for our showcases. The most popular models, the most well-cared for, the ones most in demand. So don't wait any longer. Reward yourself or someone you love today with a luxury pre-owned Rolex from Genesis. It's just another way Genesis Diamonds does whatever it takes to bring you only the world's best. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey, it's Mark Howard here. You've heard me talk about my friends at Apple Collision Centers for a while now, and today I'm here with CEO Stan Harrison to tell you about how they can help ease your stress with your auto body repair.
That's right, Mark. We have 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Our people are homegrown right here in Middle Tennessee with over 75 years experience. We can help with all your auto body repair needs.
So stop by and see Stan and his team today and tell them Mark sent you, or visit them online at applecollisioncenters.com.
It's been a busy offseason for the Tennessee Titans.
I think this is a one-year prove-it deal for Austin Hooper.
Big move for the Titans. Robert Woods. He fits what they want to do. Harold Landry. I think he likes playing here.
The Titans keep the cap number small. Landry got exactly what he wanted.
Now the focus shifts to the draft. What needs do the Two-Tone Blues still have?
Who can contribute right now?
Keep it locked to Nashville's best sports talk.
Talking Titans
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Play guy. He's the voice of the Blue Devils. David Shoemate will join us at 1 o'clock to begin the final hour. Duke UNC. Never have met in the NCAA tournament. Isn't that unbelievable?
It is.
With that being said, wow, the irony. Let's bring in Adam Vingan from The Athletic, who will be watching that game intently. Adam, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Isn't that hard to believe? They've never met in the NCAA tournament? How's that possible?
It is when you consider one, that both teams are routinely in the tournament, and I know that often the selection committee attempts to prevent these conference matchups from happening, though they do happen from time to time. I remember when Duke won in 2001, they played Maryland in the Final Four in the national semifinal. They erased a 20-plus point deficit to win that game, and then they went on to beat Arizona in the national championship game. But I was looking at a list of conference matchups in the Final Four, and they do rarely happen. I think what's pretty amazing is that this is the first time ever that two teams from the same conference and the same state are playing each other in the Final Four, I believe.
Well, look at you.
Or it might have been the whole tournament. I'm not really sure, but it is incredibly rare. And I was telling this to Elijah when he called me. He said if I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday, and I said absolutely not. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Well, a lot of people are looking forward to tonight's game. And this is an interesting week because we talked about it Sunday in pregame. These are 3 teams, and tonight, of course, will close out the month of March. And so Friday night in Buffalo will be literally the final stretch run because you're going into the final month of the regular season. But 3 teams that are out of it. It doesn't matter what they do the rest of the way. They're out. They're not going to be playoff hockey teams. And as we found out on Sunday night, Philadelphia was not interested in just laying down and saying, hey, here you go. Here's 2 points. Predators came away with 2 points, but, boy, they had to earn it.
Yeah. And, Tanner should know, oh, by the way, do I get a gift card for my accurate Gordie Howe hat trick prediction?
You did nail it. You did nail it. Now, we did not typically do not give away prizes in pregame, so the answer is no. But you did call it.
You get an attaboy.
You
get an attaboy.
Even then, it would still be about 6 months until I saw a gift card from you anyway.
So the time away, it is not. That has not gone. Has not gone away. It's still there. Okay.
It will never end. But to your point, the Flyers, they played a spirited game. They were incredibly opportunistic against the Predators. I think at one point they had 3 goals on 6 shots. It may have been 3 goals on 5 shots.
Yep.
At one point. But to the Predators' credit, they did not have a repeat of their game against the Flyers a couple of weeks ago where they had a late lead and blew it and lost in regulation. Now, the Ottawa Senators are in town tonight, and as you said, like the Flyers, like the Sabres on Friday, very clearly out of the mix in the Eastern Conference playoff race. But the Senators did receive some terrible news last night. Their owner, Eugene Melnyk, died at 62, which is just terrible in and of itself. But for someone so young to die. So they will have plenty of motivation, to play for the memory of their owner. So if the Senators weren't motivated to play tonight, they certainly will be to honor the late Eugene Melnyk.
Is there any cause for concern in your mind down the stretch run of the final 16 games in UC Saros's play?
Not necessarily, because he has been good for so long. Even if you go back to the second half of last season, I mean, there have been very few instances of him having what we would consider to be poor stretches of play. The game the other night from a save percentage standpoint was certainly not UC Saros's best game, but you can regularly count on him to make quality starts, and he has stolen more games statistically than any goalie in the league this year, according to my friends at SportLogic. So, I am a bit surprised by the workload in general, just in terms of how much he has started games. Now, I know that it was sort of thrown out of whack at the beginning of the season when David Riddick was on the COVID-19 list, and Connor Ingram got in the game or two. But with the way the schedule is, I'm not sure how many back-to-backs.
There's 4 back-to-backs left, and that's where I was going next. So 16 games left. He's already started 55. 4 back-to-backs. What do you think the number's going to be when they finish up the regular season? What do you think his starts will be?
That's a good question, because honestly, I would not be surprised if he got 12 and Riddick got 4. He got the one of the back-to-back sets, so that would put him at 67 starts for the season, which is pretty incredible considering entering the season he had never started more than 35 games in a season in the NHL. So nearly doubled that in one season. I guess it depends. I mean, if the Predators are going to be locked in a tight playoff race down the stretch, and we expect them to be, when we broke this down on pregame the other day, Darren, about how close things are in the Western Conference, how many teams are still realistically in the race, some a lot more than others. But as long as as the Predators are battling for a playoff spot, I expect UC Soros to get as many games as possible. So, I would say of those 16 games, he's starting 12, and Riddick is going to start, one of the, the other 4 back-to-backs, which, usually the second half is when the backup plays. So put me down for a 12-4 split for the rest of the game.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, the Norris is between Makar and Yossi at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think will be the deciding factor?
Well, that's a good question. I really do think that I might have to go back and look at the voting totals, for the Norris Trophy over time, which would be a long list. So maybe I won't do it. But I am interested to see what the closest Norris Trophy race has ever been in terms of the total votes, because I honestly do believe that this could be it. Makar has been a front runner for most of the season. I feel like Yossi, has come on late. So I think the fact that Makar has been in that conversation, at the front of that conversation for a longer period of time this season, I think, could give him an edge in the race. But at the end of the day, and look, I am privileged to vote on the Norris Trophy among other awards. And one knock against the Norris Trophy over time is that people tend to give it to the defenseman who scores the most points. And it's an award for the best overall defenseman. But the fact that Roman Yossi is doing things offensively in the same breath as Bobby Orr and Paul Coffey and Al McInnes, among others, I have a hard time ignoring that. I think I saw a statistic that if Roman has 3 points tonight against Ottawa, which is not out of the realm of possibility, he will tie Bobby Orr for the most points by a defenseman in a single month in NHL history. I believe that's what Robbie said this morning on the morning show. So the fact that you're looking at things that Roman's doing, and the company he's keeping includes, among the, Bobby Orr, by most accounts, the greatest defenseman to ever play, Paul Coffey, an incredible defenseman in his own right, 2 Hall of Famers. I have a hard time not giving Roman my vote if he continues to play at this pace, and especially if he breaks the 100-point mark, which a defenseman hasn't done in the NHL in 30 years.
We're talking with Adam Vingan up at Athletic. I know Darren brought up the concerns, the possible concerns with the workload of Saros. But are you concerned with the team in general? And I'm asking that because when they tend to play teams that they are much better than, it seems like they, at least for the first period and a half, they play to the level of their competition. Then all of a sudden they got to kick it in and they end up winning the game. Should there be some concerns about that?
Well, the good news is if the Predators make the playoffs, they're going to be playing all good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're not going to be any Philadelphia Flyers or Ottawa Senators on their schedule in the postseason. But I'm looking at their schedule as I'm holding a whiny baby. I'm looking at their schedule in April, and they're playing some really good teams. They're playing Minnesota. They're playing Florida. They're playing Pittsburgh. They're playing St. Louis. They're playing Calgary twice. They're playing Colorado. So, certainly I think they have one of the tougher schedules remaining in the NHL, just based on the winning percentage and points percentage of their opponents. And I think that actually could be a good thing based on what you're talking about, Derek, just because, they're not playing teams that have nothing to play for. And I think the fact that they do have a tough schedule down the stretch, which of course could work against them because they're playing good teams and they need every point they can get. But if there is a concern that perhaps they don't, quote unquote, get up for the teams that are not in a good place in the standings, you're not going to have to worry about that, minus a couple of games, including the other night, including tonight, including Friday. So I'm not as concerned about that as maybe other people are.
Should be another fun one tonight. Adam, appreciate the visit. Enjoy it, and we'll talk soon.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Adam Vingan, his work can be found at The Athletic. We'll come back, continue the discussion. Tim Hasselback coming up at noon here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexroad for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takeuchi dealer.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
Erectile dysfunction ruins sex, but it's more than that. It harms otherwise good relationships. It destroys marriages. It can cause depression and anxiety, and it can be extremely hard on a man's self-esteem. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with ED, if it's affecting you, I want you to know that if you're like most men, we can treat it and get you back to the man you used to be. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we're ED experts. Our protocols have success rates as high as 90%. We've successfully treated thousands of men in the Music City, and we have a variety of treatment options and treatment combinations that could have you performing like you haven't in years. You could even last up to an hour and experience great sex again that is satisfying for both you and your partner. In treating your health, expertise matters, so make an appointment today. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
At Mitchell's Mr. Transmission, we also offer free towing with any major repairs. If your vehicle has a breakdown and you should need any type towing, towing is available through Dad's Towing Service. Dad's is a professional towing company in Nashville that provides all types towing and recovery, 24 hours a day.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
Wednesday night, it's a Western Conference battle in the NBA.
Torrey inside, great muscle move.
As the Phoenix Suns take on the Golden State Warriors.
Thompson's 5 of 7.
Coverage begins at 8:30
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt football head coach Clark Lee. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Thank you, Coach. Go to GameNashville.com/deals. Check out Nashville's best deals this week. Deal of the week. Float Horizon in East Nashville, located at 1012 Russell Street. Get half off 60-minute float session for $39.50. Why float? Float to recharge your mind and body. I love floating. De-stress, relieve pain, better sleep, and more. For the ultimate experience, combine your float session with a therapeutic, relaxing massage or full-spectrum infrared sauna. Float Horizon, 1012 Russell Street there in East Nashville. Or you can always go to them. Go to their website, floathorizon.com. Get all your deals at theGameNashville.com/deals. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason here with you. Patron Platinum Club inside Bridgestone Arena. Predators and Senators tonight. Another opportunity for the Predators to stay right in the thick of things. And as we've talked about many times, this is the East is set. Mm-hmm. It's boring. Okay, they're good for them. Those 8 teams are locked. The West, far from it. I mean, far from it. And that's what's interesting is, again, they're playing these 3 Eastern Conference teams. Sunday night they played Philly, tonight Ottawa, and Friday night in Buffalo. Those 3 teams are out. That's, I mean, non-eventful race in the Eastern Conference, but, you know, you've got Minnesota in second in the Central with 84 points. St. Louis with, unfortunately, a big win last night with 81 points. So there's your top 3, Colorado, Minnesota, and St. Louis. Colorado is going to
Run away.
Yeah, win the division and be the number 1 seed. Calgary has 88 points atop the Pacific. LA with 81. Edmonton was 79. Nashville currently in that first wild card spot with 80 points. Vegas 76. Dallas 75. Winnipeg 74. Vancouver 73. Good news is Predators, with some of those teams behind them, have games in hand, which is good. So most of them, 1 or 2 games for sure. So that always helps.
Yeah, they're sitting in the first wild card spot. They have a tough schedule, like Adam said, headed down the stretch. But as we have seen, that's why, I asked Adam, should there be any concerns? Because for some strange reason, when they play when they play teams that they have a clear advantage over it, they tend to start off slow, and then they have to kick it into gear. But as Adam said, and as we have seen, the teams that either they go to their place or they come here to Bridgestone, the good teams, it seems as if the Predators, kick it into gear right away. And with the remaining schedule that they have, it could be a plus because we know we're getting the best Nashville Predator team on that particular day because they are playing teams that are fighting for playoff position. And they know that, it takes 1 or 2 games to kind of swing everything in their favor or out of their favor. So this stretch run for them, yes, it's going to be tough, but, you'd rather them have a stretch run like this because they have to get up and play every night. There can't be an off night. And when they have to get up and play, they do.
Yeah, basically the month of April is like 3 games, 1 week, 4 games. So lighter. Believe it or not, 3 games in a week is on the lighter side. But then they have 4-game week. Then they have a 3-game week. Then they have a 4-game week. So that's kind of how they're going to close out the final month. And who knows what it looks like. Calgary, Colorado, and Arizona are their final 3 games of the year. Has Calgary locked up everything? So are they the Pacific winner? Are they the 2 seed? Can't catch Colorado for the 1 seed. Nobody can catch them in the Pacific, so they come in here in the final home game of the regular season, and Calgary's got nothing to play for. Then they go to Colorado, their second to last game. What if Colorado's locked up everything? How do they treat that if they've got nothing to play for? And then Arizona is the last game of the season at their place, and Arizona's the worst team in hockey. So going back to our reference earlier, game 82 on the season for the worst team in hockey.
Bags already packed,
I was going to say, maybe they've got, suitcases packed, like you said, for, that would include a bathing suit.
Yeah. I think the one team that I think both Vegas and the Predators need to be really aware of, and I'm sure they are, is Dallas, because Dallas has played 2 less games than the Predators and 4 less games than Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Dallas has got a lot of games in hand.
And they are 4 points behind the Predators and 1 point behind Vegas.
And remember, they didn't sell off. A lot of people out there are going to sell off at the deadline, and they did.
Yeah. So they're still in the mix. So the Preds can't have a swing where they got to be on. This is their playoff run right now, considering, the teams that, 2 or 3 teams that are behind them vying for a wild card spot.
No games against Dallas, by the way.
Nope.
They're done.
That
done series is done.
Which is good now.
But you're right. I mean, Dallas does have – they have 4 games in hand on Vegas.
I mean, Winnipeg.
3 games in hand on Winnipeg, who's directly behind them. Vancouver is right behind them, too. They've got 4 games in hand on Vancouver. I mean, that's a huge advantage to know that you've got all those extra games where you can collect points.
And the other team.
And they can't.
They can't. Yeah.
Now, you got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, It's nice to have those games, but if you don't do anything about it, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to go out there and take care of business. But, yeah, look, the bottom line is this thing is going to – I'm convinced it's coming down to the very end.
Yeah. But then how do they handle the whole Soros thing?
Everybody's going to be battling for spots until the very end. I think it may literally come down to the final week of the season.
So which is it's a good thing in a sense because you're still in it.
You're sharp.
But it's a bad thing because that last team that you play has nothing to play for other than to spoil it for you.
Well, and sometimes that works in the NFL in the final week of the season.
Yeah, you're right.
Sometimes it looks like that team literally just mailed it in. I mean,
sometimes they look like the worst team in the league.
Right. Like you don't know. Or in this case, Colorado. I mean, if Colorado has nothing to play for, are they going to risk? And I know it's not like the NFL.
I think they still would.
Are you going to risk your star players?
I think they still would from this standpoint. Because if you were to meet the Nashville Predators again in the playoffs.
Right. I guess it depends on where are the right.
Exactly.
Where are they?
So you want to.
Are they the final team in, which would set up a matchup, a first round matchup?
Yeah. So you would want to have your guys play. You know, in a situation like
that.
Why?
Why is that?
I think it's more so of a psychological thing than it has to do with actually winning and losing the game, because you want your guys, if you know this is the team you're going to potentially play in the first round, you want to set a tone in that game because the Predators will be playing for something. Colorado, for all intents and purposes, wouldn't be, but if you know that that's my first round opponent, you want to make sure they understand you are the best team in the league.
I only ask that because Carolina, those circumstances were in play at the end of last season. And I get it. It was a shortened season. It wasn't 82 games. But that scenario played out. Carolina came in here. Pekka's last night, we all remember the shutout, does the victory lap and his final lap, right? It was a special night. Carolina set a lot of players.
Yeah.
Guess who Predators met in the playoffs, first round?
Carolina.
So Carolina didn't care about that game.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only reason I asked.
Yeah, you're going to have some teams
that
don't, and then you're going to have other teams and coaches that say, "Listen, we want to set a tempo, or we want to set a mindset that we're playing them in the first round of the playoffs. They know exactly what they're going to get from us. Now, we might not play them the whole game, but we're going to play them. We're going to have them in there to start everything off. So,
Tim Hasselbeck coming up at noon. It looks like the Saints have signed a quarterback. We'll tell you who that is.
Dennis Rodman.
Well, Dennis Rodman. Let me check. Nope, not Dennis Rodman. Good guess though. I want to talk to you about the folks at Wager. You heard me talk about them for weeks, and man, have I had fun on this new app. Man, every night. I know the Final Four will get cranked up again on Saturday night. But how about the women's games last night? Wow, did anybody watch the UConn game, NC State? Double overtime thriller. Huskies get it done. A lot of action every night on Wager. I'm so excited about it. It's a new social sports betting app that lets you bet on sports with your friends, your coworkers, and anybody here in the state of Tennessee, and, of course, even me, rather than betting against the book that's incentivized to see you lose. More games coming out tonight. Also, they got soccer on there, World Cup qualifiers, right? That USA, Panama, nice win by them Sunday night, beating Panama 5-1. Getting a little bit closer to punching their ticket in. You can take that action. NBA every night. I've been surprised how a lot of you have been interested. I put out some NBA bets. You've been sending me some NBA wagers. Folks here in this Nashville community have been all over that. Look, it's just the right way to do it rather than chasing down your friends for the money. Once these games are over, it's settled right there on the app. You don't have to worry about that as soon as the game ends. If you're not on the app, you're missing out on a ton of fun with the community. If you're over 21 years of age, download the Wager app in your phone's browser at wager.me/DMAC. That's Wager, WAGR.me/DMAC, DMAC. Once you're in, join the 102.5 The Game crew, and let's see if you can take some money from me. I'll be sending out some wagers here for tonight's action, so jump in there. Love to see you. Been having a lot of fun on here. And, of course, you have to be 21 years of age or older to play. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-889-9789.
Tonight.
He scored! Philip Forsberg! What a rocket!
Philip Forsberg and the Predators continue their homestand as they take on the Ottawa Senators. Pre-game at 6, face-off at 7 on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Severe weather potential for tomorrow afternoon and evening. Today, just looking at warm and windy times with highs back into the lower 70s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Hillside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free. Plus, a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, a swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Tim Hasselback coming up at high noon. Looking forward to that conversation with him. A weekly chat back here on the DDC. Looks like The Saints are signing Andy Dalton to a 1-year deal worth $6 million, $3 million of it guaranteed. So they have Jameis, they have Dalton, they have Taysom Hill.
When I'm gone.
Taysom Hill's going to play tight end, what Dennis Allen said.
Why don't they just have him play linebacker too?
This whole experiment with him playing quarterback and all this other stuff, I mean, they gave him all that money, and now they are, looking at themselves in the mirror like, why did we do that? Don't understand.
I saw Dolphins head coach do a presser, at these meetings. I'm pretty sure he was my Algebra 2 teacher. I'm not even kidding. No, he's not old enough to be my Algebra 2 teacher, but he looks like an high school Algebra 2 teacher.
Hey, that's the trend.
I know.
These younger offensive-minded coaches, why? Because the league is about offense. And I don't think they're anti-defense, but they know that points put butts in the seats. Scoring put people in the seats. They don't want to have, these defensive battles every week, every game. They want, if they can get a 35-28 game every weekend, they would love it.
Well, the pressure is squarely on Tua now. Now we're going to find out this year. Like they've run out of excuses. If he can't make this work, they've got an offensive-minded coach. They've got a guy who has a track record of being good with quarterbacks, and they've gone out and supplied him with a lot of weapons, a lot. So it's now up to Tua. Like they're going to find out if they have something, or if we're just going to keep making excuses for why Tua hasn't lived up to the draft pick and why he hasn't been a no-brainer and why people were tanking for him. Because right now it looks like he's just not going to be as good as we all thought.
It looks as if they could have drafted him in a later round, and he would have been a great story if that's the case. But they didn't. They drafted him in first round, 10, 15 picks. I still believe if you want to get the best out of Tua, and just about any quarterback that's sort of like fringe quarterback, even Ryan Tannehill, you bring in a quarterback that can compete with him, that he knows that if you start to play bad consistently, your job has the potential of, or you have the potential of losing your job. If they want to truly find out what they have in Tua, bring in Baker Mayfield after they cut him, after Cleveland cut him. Bring him in, and then we will see if Tua is the real deal. Cut him, bring him to Nashville. Then we will see if Ryan Tannehill can lead your team past the second round or into the AFC Championship or into the Super Bowl. Because I believe these guys to be competitors, meaning Tua and Ryan, and if they are true competitors, they will elevate their game knowing that somebody's behind them. So
Tua was picked 5th overall by the Dolphins.
Yeah. He again. If you want to see if he's the dude or not, bring in somebody that can truly compete with him.
Well, I guess that's one way of doing it, or just get him Tyreek Hill, draft Jalen Waddle, bring in Cedric Wilson, bring in Raheem Mostert. They brought in another running back too. I mean, like I said, they brought back Gesicki, their tight end. He's got loads of weapons.
But again, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get pushed.
But if you need that, do you have the right guy?
Hey,
if
you never
need
know.
Baker Mayfield to push you, then
I mean, some people
are
just
you the
need
right
that
guy?
extra oomph to get them going. Some people need it. Some people need constant competition. Some people need that thing that's going to motivate them to be better. Whether it's somebody taking your job or, you just want to. Mine was 2 or 3-fold. Mine was they were always trying to replace me. So I wanted to make it hard for them to replace me. Mine was I got drafted in the 4th round. All those people skipped over me for 3 rounds. So I always had that motivation. I always had that. I just wanted to fight each and every time. Well, what is Tua's? What is Ryan's?
Well, Tua's has got to be, how about just living up to the expectations? Like, you just haven't been good enough. How about that? Nobody's patting you on the back too hard. Yeah. You're the 5th pick overall, and you looked like a can't-miss prospect. You know, and maybe the injury at Alabama has affected his career move. Maybe he's never going to be the same from that injury. I don't know, but the motivation is you're not a star in the league. You're a guy that everybody's going, question mark, don't know. I think, maybe, possibly, not sure.
But you want to, I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong, because you're not. But I think some guys just need an extra motivation. Like they're saying, there's somebody behind you now. If you don't get this straightened out, we won't hesitate, because this is it for you. Whether you perform well or not, whether we brought somebody in to compete with you or push you or not, if you don't get the job done now with all of these people around you, that's it. You will be relegated to a backup, which in the NFL isn't a bad gig for a quarterback.
Well, yeah,
money-wise.
not if you're 24 years old.
But
and
I'm
you
saying
were the 5th pick
money-wise.
overall.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Everybody has their motivation. Some people need more.
I mean, Andy Dalton is a prime example to your point, but Andy Dalton's at the back end of his career, a $6 million gig for a year that possibly where he could just hold a clipboard. Yeah, is not a bad gig.
No, it's not.
But he's also at the back end of his career. Tua's still at the early stages of his career. He's 24. He's still got to prove himself. He's looking for that second contract. Right now, second
this is
contract.
his, what, 3rd year? Is this his 3rd year? I think it is, yeah. There's a 3 to 4 year window for quarterbacks in this league.
Well, that's Baker. Yeah. That's Marcus.
That's what I'm saying, 3 or 4 years. If you have not proved it in 3 or 4 years, they're cutting bait and they're moving on. That's just how the NFL is. Look at every quarterback. If they have not proved it after that 3rd or 4th year,
Trubisky,
we're going somewhere else.
Yep.
You can figure it out in another team, but with our team, we're moving on. Whether it's Mr. Trubisky, whether it's Marcus Mariota, whether it's, you can go down the line with quarterbacks. They were ready to pull a plug on Josh Allen. Just remember, 2 years ago, they were ready to pull a plug on Josh Allen. And now look at Josh.
Yeah, seems like a laughable conversation, doesn't it, today? All right, we'll come back. We'll start the 3rd hour with Tim Hasselbeck, our man Timmy, next.
Joe Rexrode.
I think they feel pretty good about things.
Robbie and Rexrode. Weekday mornings 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Joe Rexrode here for FanDuel Sportsbook, letting you know, folks, that FanDuel is giving new customers a $150 instant bonus guaranteed. Yes, you will get $150 in bonus site credit. All you have to do, place your first bet of $5 or more. Here we are at the Final Four. The bracket has gone from 68 to 4. You can bet it however you want. Money line, totals, prop bets, whatever you want. I'll tell you one thing I feel good about, and you take my advice with a grain of salt because my bracket is a mess, but Kansas against a banged-up Villanova team, I feel good about Kansas being in the title game Monday. Join FanDuel today with promo code Joe102. You place your $5 bet, score $150 in bonus site credit guaranteed. Again, that's promo code Joe102 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
This hour of sports brought to you by FlexCar.com. Hate buying a car? Check out FlexCar.com. FlexCar has made it easy to have the car of your dreams for a low weekly rate plus mileage. There's seriously never been an easier way to get the car you want. Visit FlexCar.com today and drive tomorrow.
Out on the trail today, I noticed the signs of spring. A purple lilac, a monarch butterfly, crisp, cool air, and fresh, bright sunshine. And all this beauty puts me in the mood to head over to my favorite adult beverage depot, Red Spirits and Wine, where I can load up the wagon with the best wines, whiskey, and brews to wet my whistle. At Red, you'll always find the best selection and value, but their Cracker Jack crew is flat out second to none. Just square dealing folks and straight shooters with great recommendations, and they never come off like some of those big talking fancy pantsers that are just totally full of, well, let's just say fertilizer. Red Spirits and Wine is the only place I do my trading, and once you've seen Red, there just ain't no sense in looking elsewhere. It's like British pop singer Billy Ocean once said, no more love on the run. Red Spirits and Wine is the real deal. Open 7 days a week at Highway 70 South and Old Hickory Boulevard. And follow Red on Facebook and Instagram as well. We'll see you at Red.
Music City. Start a profitable new chapter of your life and be your own boss with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. In fact, no matter where you are, from Green Hills to the Gulch to down in Franklin, if you can hear my voice, there's an affordable, profitable Little Guys franchise opportunity nearby. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Join a team with 30 plus years of growth and good times. Learn more at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com. And then make that call.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
1025 The Game. Get your sexy on.
Third hour of the gang is all here. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Derek Mason here at Patron Platinum Club inside Bridgestone Arena. Predators and Senators tonight. Yes, we're ready for the game. We're ready to talk with Tim Hasselbeck. Our weekly chat with him from ESPN. Tim, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. It's a nice day here in Nashville. Things are better for us than probably guys like Baker Mayfield and Jimmy Garoppolo. That's where I want to start. I mean, these guys have been starters. But now you do wonder. Let's start with Baker Mayfield. And I know we've talked about this already with you, but just every week that goes by, I think it does seem like the music is going to stop. And he just may be holding a clipboard this year, right? I mean, what starting spot is there? Is this guy just going to be a backup in year 5 of his NFL career?
Well, I think before he finds himself as a backup, I think he's probably going to be released. Forget what the guarantee is. I think it's like $18 million.
$18 million, yeah.
Like yeah. And so he's probably going to be released because the idea that there's a trade for him and then you're absorbing that salary, like there's definitely, I mean, as we sit here and struggle to find a spot for him to be a starter, like find the team that wants to take $18 million on the books for a guy that they're not sure is going to be their starter, especially when they know that Cleveland would much rather cut him. So, I think that there's I think he'll be released before there's an opportunity. And I think in terms of opportunities, like, I don't know that it's 100% that he's holding the clipboard, because I think you could say, all right, is there an opportunity to go compete in Seattle? Is there an opportunity if he were a free agent? Is there an opportunity for him to go compete in Detroit if he were a free agent? Or, just places like that. I think there's a chance that could happen. But as we, if you're asking like, hey, where does he go where he's got the inside track to becoming a starter, there is not one. And so I think the most likely scenario, while he does have a chance to be a starter, the most likely scenario is that you go be a backup. And listen, as much as that's a hard pill to swallow, look, Marcus Mariota, spent time as a backup and got another opportunity to be a starter. Or it looks like it anyway. Ryan Tannehill obviously got an opportunity to be a starter and, found a starter contract because of how he played as a backup. So, it's not like it's an impossible path, but I think that's the most likely path for Baker at this point.
What did you make of the Deshaun Watson press conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think my opinions were probably formed prior to the press conference. So, what did I make of it? None of it felt good to me. I mean, listen, and I don't claim to know what has or hasn't happened, but the reality is, he received $80 million more guaranteed than any player in the history of the NFL. And if he gets suspended because of the, pending civil lawsuits, it's going to be for each game an 18th of a $1 million salary for a guy that was guaranteed $238 million. It's hard to feel good about it. Like, there's a, I don't know if dirtiness feels the right word, but it doesn't leave you with a great feeling.
Well, Tim,
you agree with that? Like,
100%.
Very icky.
100%.
I agree with you, but it's the NFL. It's professional sports.
Yeah.
So as long as your talent outweighs your problems, then there you go. So no one should be surprised.
But D-Mace, you know this, and this is how I feel about it. Like, I had a teammate one time. I had a teammate in Arizona one time who he wasn't a great guy. And, I just kind of saw some things, but he was a great player. And I just, there was part of it for me was and I think people, I think there were some people knew, and it was I just didn't feel great about it. And I'm not, and I think that goes on every single team. And I'm not saying it always affects your team chemistry or things like that, but, I guess as Darren asked me, how do you feel about the press conference? Honestly, it didn't feel great, and it was just kind of disappointing. Now, it doesn't mean, the Browns are wrong or the only team would be wrong, clearly. I mean, a quarter of the league seemed like they were interested in Watson. So, it's not just them. I just, for me personally, didn't feel great.
And I could get it. It's one of those deals where you're watching it, because I watched it, and it's with that, they had to put him out there. And you just felt like, man, maybe this isn't the best thing for the Browns to do, is to put him in front of the media, considering what's still going on, and how it seems like they put all that stuff aside and gave him even more money, and it's all guaranteed. So it's like they're looking at it like, oh, we don't have a problem with it, which they may have a problem with it, but that problem doesn't exceed them winning. That's the whole deal, and it goes across whatever sport you're in or entertainment. If your problems, if your talent or the money you're bringing in is far outweighs what you're going through, then more than likely a lot of teams, they sort of, turn the blind eye to it and, keep you on the team. And it's unfortunate that it happens, but it does, and it's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, hey, listen, right? You've probably heard it before. And it usually applied to guys that were, hanging on to the bottom of the roster. But be who you can afford to be. I remember hearing coaches say that. Hey, Like, if you're hanging on the bottom of the roster, like, show up early. Be who you can afford to be. And unfortunately, like, the flip side of that is exactly what you're talking about.
Now, Tim, the NFL, there has been some rule changes that has been imposed, and the one rule is the overtime situation. And potentially, I know the Titans proposed something of, each team, if you score, you got to score 2 points. Where do you think this thing land? Do you think they work out something where it can be implemented this season, or this is something we might see the season after?
I'm not sure on the timing of it. I know I'm on an island on this, or at least I feel like I'm on an island.
I'm on your island too, believe, because I think you're going with. I'm a traditionalist in
I mean, I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with the overtime because, this idea of like not getting the ball back. It's like, well, I mean, you get an opportunity to get the ball back. You just gotta stop them.
Exactly.
Which is part of the game, isn't it? Like. And, as much as I'd love to see, Josh Allen get an opportunity, this last postseason, because it would have been fun, it's like, well, stop him, right? I mean, so I really don't have an issue with it in terms of it being changed. It seems like there's good momentum for it, but I can't imagine whether, it's you, D. Mace, or me, or I would think that there are, other people that are on the committees, the competition committee that feel like, it's not the worst thing in the world because, like I said, playing defense is part of the game.
I'm just trying to picture this island that Tim and D-Mace are on. Is it a tropical island, or is it more like Luke Skywalker in the recent Star Wars where he's like there's cliffs and mountains and stuff?
No, it's a tropical island.
Are the only two people on the island, or is there other people on this island too?
Are you kidding me? Like, you're talking to D-Mace. Like, this thing's tropical.
It's tropical, yeah.
He's got a pina colada. His shirt is off. And he's letting everybody know.
You mean like Winthorpe, trading places, Eddie Murphy at the end when they go to the island, and they just
exactly.
That's good stuff. Yeah, that's it. I'd like to go to that island. That's pretty good. So Tim, this is what I've always thought about the overtime though. Just while we're on this, I would love for the coin toss to happen, and you don't know whether the team is going to say we want the ball or we don't want the ball. I would just love the rules. Because it's such a no-brainer. And there's all this anticipation on who wins the coin toss, because whoever wins the toss has a big advantage. I just would love to find a way, and I don't think I've heard the proposal yet, but put some decision-making into the coin toss. You know what I mean? That would indicate to me that you have a good system, and it's not coming down to the coin toss too much.
Yeah, what's interesting, though, is like if you win the coin toss, like, you're going to get the ball, like, say you get the ball on the 20 or the 25-yard line, and you got to score a touchdown. And, like, I don't know exactly what the percentages are, like of touchdown rates, when you start a drive at the 20 or 25. But I don't think they're amazing. And so, there's part of it for me where, like, I also don't know that it's the advantage that we often kind of refer it to being.
It's better. It's better than it was. I'd like to see it go back to 15 minutes, though, so that if there's a long drive that results in a field goal, this happened to the Titans. The Jets went long drive, got a field goal, and then the Titans had their drive, and they all of a sudden time was an issue for them, and they missed the field goal that would have tied it. So I don't know why they can't go 15 minutes.
On board with, look, you can easily get me on board with time not running out. You know what I'm saying? Like that for me, like that. I think I'm already there. You don't need to get me on board. Actually, like the idea of playing to a tie because some team, is inching the ball down the field. There are a few penalties, and to your point, now all of a sudden there's this, 9.5-minute drive that, has left very little opportunity for the other team. So, look, I extending the time, having it untimed, whatever. That to me, to make sure that you find a winner, is okay.
I just want more Jerome Bettis coin flip drama. Just more of that. That's what we need. Tim, always appreciate
coin flip drama is good.
Hey, that's messed up. Hey, I want some Matt Hasselbeck coin flip.
Yeah. Even better. Even better. Mic drop. Tim Hasselbeck every week. Thank you, sir. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
On Hasselbeck Island. With Derek Mason.
Tim Hasselbeck every week on the program. I'm going to tell you why I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to live up to this deal. I'm going to tell you that on the other side. But first, Willie, you're going to tell everybody about Lee Company.
All right. Glad to be with you today to talk Lee Company. We're here at Bridgestone Arena. As we know, Lee Company, big sponsor of Nashville Predators hockey and our radio coverage. Tonight, the Ottawa Senators are in town, a young, quick team that's been a spoiler here recently. And so this will be a tricky game tonight. Of course, Lee Company all around Bridgestone Arena with their display and sponsorship, all their great services, which include the general maintenance team. If you're at home or at work right now and you've got a maintenance issue at home or at your place of business and you need some help with it, regardless of what it is, call Lee Company, 615-567-1000, or go to leecompany.com. They can help you out. You can even make an online appointment. So you just describe the problem, and they'll be out to get it fixed for you so you can continue with your workday, get done, and then watch the Predators tonight. It is Lee Company, 615-567-1000, or go to leecompany.com.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robbie and Rexroad. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
All the games are crazy in March, and so are Social Furniture's prices. Shop today at Social Furniture during their end of March sale. You'll find all sofas and sectionals for your home on sale now with same-day delivery. Social Furniture's end of March sale going on now. Enjoy your new sofas and sectionals now with no waiting and same-day delivery. Visit Social Furniture today in West Nashville at 5412 Charlotte Avenue. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Realizing Geico has over 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before. Like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers. Or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution, and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
Our fleet vehicle program is a great benefit to all the fleet companies in Nashville. We are able to get their vehicle back on the road a lot quicker than the downtime of most dealers and most general repair shops, simply because we have the transmissions available. We're able to put priority on their vehicles to get them back on the road quickly.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. So you need to change your oil. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Daily Protection or Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP oil filter, plus an STP air filter or cabin air filter for just $36.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, I'm Ryan Johansson, and this is Smashville.
Back to Johansson, and Johansson tips it in with one hand on the stick.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
On the DDC, Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Derek Mason with you. Heidi from Dixon on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, said, I just heard Kick Start My Heart on the radio, and it made me think of you guys.
Oh,
thanks, Heidi.
We kickstart our heart.
And honestly, when I hear that song, I think the same thing. Do you? I do.
There we go.
Occasionally, I'll hear it in another arena. And I'll be like, wait, are we on? Are we working tonight? Wait, we're supposed to be on the radio?
John from Columbia wants to know on our text line, D-Mace, what would you have done if Will Smith would have slapped you? These are hard-hitting questions. Now we're going to sit back and relax, see where D-Mace goes with this.
I didn't think I was going to have to answer this question because
John pulled the pen and rolled that sucker right across the text line.
And then left the building.
And then said, see ya.
Oh, man. Just say somebody would have got arrested that night. Or we both would have got arrested because it's just, I don't know. I mean, Chris is a bigger person. I tell you that.
He has certainly won the court of public opinion.
Exactly.
Has he not, for the way he handled it?
Oh,
is that fair to say?
Oh, it is fair to say because, I wouldn't have handled it that way. We would have been fighting. And when they would have broke it up, we'd have still been fighting. And that was just amazing. I didn't watch. Obviously, I saw it on social media. I didn't watch the Grammys. Don't watch the Grammys. Can't tell you the last time I watched the Grammys. Oscars. Yeah. I don't even know what Grammys, it was.
Yeah.
I hadn't watched those things in decades. But with Twitter and Facebook and
you couldn't avoid
Insta, whatever.
Oh, it was
you can't
everywhere.
avoid it. You can't avoid it. Nope. You can't. It's in your face. And boy, oh boy. And listen,
I noticed how you said that in your face.
Yeah. I was laughing when I saw it. You know how you look at things and when you first see it, you're like, okay. And then you rewind it a few times and you watch every.
Yep, you break it down.
You break it down every step. And you break down every box, and then it made me laugh because Will walked up to him, and I guess Chris thought he was going to say something. He kind of leaned in.
Well, obviously,
what would you? Yeah.
But then he slapped him, and the way his feet went, like Will's feet when he slapped him, wow! And he turned around like somebody's pops was like, yeah, don't do that no more. You know how when you got in trouble and your dad got you and he turned around like, you won't do that no more, will you? That's how Will Smith walked back like, you ain't going to do that no more. It just made me laugh, man. It was wrong, completely wrong, but it did make me laugh. And Chris Rock will use that as a joke, best believe.
Oh man.
Because he's on tour. He goes on tour this year. He will use that as a big joke.
And by the way, he will benefit from this.
Oh, absolutely.
People will go to the show just to hear what Chris Rock has to say, because like you said, he is going to incorporate it.
Oh, of course.
Into his show somehow, somewhat.
It almost made me think of Juwan Howard when he was hit the guy in the head. Oh, man.
Gosh,
But
people
yeah.
have been angry lately, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a lot of anger going around. Misdirected anger.
Yeah,
Let's just say
a lot
that.
of people are angry at Will Smith, rightfully so.
Yeah. But, yeah, we'd have been still fighting today.
It's probably not a good idea to assault somebody on
national television.
Also,
But
it's
hey,
kind of a big deal.
But again, what did I say about Deshaun Watson?
I know.
If your talent outweighs your problem, it'll go away. We don't care. Will Smith, one of the biggest actors in all of Hollywood.
So let's segue into that because that's perfect. Thank you for that setup. Been thinking a lot about this. One, I watched Jimmy Haslam's plea to the fans, or I don't know if it was plea, but I kind of felt like a plea, like, please accept him. Please be happy over this. Please, my wife is okay with it. My kids are okay. My daughters are okay with it. Like, you just need to be okay with this, please.
That's not the way to go.
But he did that.
I'm
not making it. I mean, that's what it felt like to me. I'm like, man, come on. Like, you signed up for the blowback.
Is his wife a massage therapist?
I mean,
come on. I mean, it's really it's a consolidated group of people.
But
by
the way,
that all do the same thing.
Though that's the line that's been used before, right? Like, hey, there's we understand everybody's feeling. But I talked to my wife and daughters for a good while about this, and they're okay with it.
And how about this one?
Well, that's fine. Then let's talk to them. Let's let them do a press conference.
Exactly.
How about them do a press conference? Let them answer some questions, right? Okay, that's fine, Mr. Haslam. Then have your wife and daughters do a press conference. Let's ask them some questions and see how they truly feel.
But here's the situation. And I sort of, in regards to Cleveland and the Haslams and how they may perceive this, I kind of think of it along the lines of, with my children, Bailey and DJ. We've always parented in such a way, Marcy and I, of, okay, we're going to allow you to have you have your voice. If you don't agree with what we're saying or doing or asking you to do, you can talk to us respectfully, but know that this decision is our decision.
Yeah, it may not change anything.
It may not change anything, but we want to hear what you got to say, because sometimes it may change how we feel about it.
Could,
but ultimately, it's going to be done. We know how you feel. We just got to live with it. I believe that's how Cleveland feels. Yeah, fans, we hear what y'all can talk. Sports people, y'all can talk. Advocates, y'all can say what y'all need to say. But ultimately, we made the decision. And the decision is Deshaun Watson is our quarterback. Y'all can protest outside the stadium all y'all want to.
That's why I'm saying it felt like it was like, please make this work. Please be accepting.
They're not even asking to be accepting, because what we have found out about NFL fans, they are forgiving once you start. They forget about it. There still will be a group that is going to protest, rightfully so, and they should. But for the majority of the people, even those that were not in agreement, the minute you start winning, the minute the Cleveland Browns are 12-3 or whatever, heading into the last couple of weeks of the season, those people ain't talking about Deshaun Watson and what happened.
I'm going to tell you on the other side why I don't think it's going to work. And that's what I meant to get to, but John in Columbia, I didn't know he was going to
hit me with the Will Smith.
Hit you with a Will Smith grenade that was going to get us. But it was well worth it. I'm going to tell you why I don't think this is going to work. I do not believe. I think this is going to be a move that is going to blow up in their face. It's not going to work. I'm going to tell you why on the other side. But first, Willie, you're going to tell everybody about Loan Pronto.
Yeah, let me tell you about Loan Pronto. And here is the message they want to pass along to you now. What if you could be debt-free in 3 weeks? 3 weeks, debt-free. Loan Pronto's debt consolidation home refi help people do it every day. They wipe out tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt with the move that we've been talking about a lot.
Your home's value is way up. You can refinance now, take money out to pay off all your credit cards, eliminate PMI charges, pay off personal loans, or other high-interest debt. One local couple recently had over $50,000 in credit card debt. Loan Pronto did a debt consolidation refi. And even though their mortgage rate went up a tad, they cut their monthly payments by $900. So why pay 20% interest when you can consolidate it to one low payment with a mortgage APR in the threes? Homeowners that did it save an average of $800 a month. So this can really help your budget. Do it now, even skip your next house payment altogether. That's what I call financial freedom. So call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Do you have that one person or thing that just makes you mad? Join us every Friday at noon on the DDC for You Just Made the List. Fueled by Parman Energy. Visit ParmanEnergy.com, your one-stop petroleum solution, and try Star Movie on the DDC on ESPN 1025 The Game.
You just made the list! Gary Ashton here. Most people in Nashville know me as the don't sell without the intel and the guaranteed offer guy. But despite my accent, I'm also 100% guaranteed Nashville. I'm a guaranteed musician, a guaranteed dog lover, and you're also guaranteed to see me at every Titans and Preds game. Guaranteed offer means the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage will sell your house for top dollar with no cleaning, staging, showings, or open houses, and give you up to 90 days to close. So there's plenty of time to find your next home. Guaranteed Nashville means my team lives here and loves it here. We've served Nashville for over 20 years, and we're passionate about helping the people we call neighbors and friends, which is why we've had a long-standing tradition of donating to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. If you're thinking about a guaranteed offer, get the only one that's guaranteed Nashville. Request a no-obligation offer by calling 615-301-1650 or go to GaryAshton.com today. Remember, Gary Ashton, guaranteed Nashville.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
Hey, Darren McFarland here. I want to tell you about this new social sports betting app I've been loving called Wager, W-A-G-R. Rather than betting against the house, Wager lets you bet with other people in Tennessee. It can be your friends, coworkers, or even me. As a special promo for ESPN 1025 The Game listeners, if you're over 21, go to wager.me/DMAC, and you'll get free wagers that you can use to challenge me. That's WAGR.me/DMAC. Join me and challenge your community, not the house. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-889-9789 for help.
ESPN's Teron Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Pekka Rinne. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Be listening to this segment. We're going to give you a chance to call in and win some tickets to see Collective Soul and special guest Switchfoot at the Opry House on a Sunday night in September. Keep that in mind. Don't forget you can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Every single day our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Now, we're talking about Deshaun Watson. And I want to tell you guys why I don't believe this is going to work. I watched the press conference, and I know he cannot say a lot of things. I get it, because there's still a lot of legal issues out there. So I understand that, maybe he wanted to say a lot more. His body language was not good. And quite honestly, if you believe like I do, I get it. All this is alleged. But, again, we've talked about it. This is just my own personal opinion. Like 22 people just don't line up and say the same thing. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. There's smoke. There's smoke, okay? I'll just leave it at that. There's something that went on. That's just not how people operate. People don't get together, complete strangers, and say, hey, let's frame somebody. Let's get together and make up a story, right? I don't know you. I don't know you. Hey, you over there. Come over here. Let's all do this publicly. Let's do this publicly. Like that's not how it works in society. But anyway, he's not going to get out from behind this. His body language was not good. And there's going to be a lot of angry people. And I get it, Derek. Believe me, I'm in the camp with you. Willie knows it. I've had these conversations over and over and over again on this show. It's phony. The league is phony. Everybody's phony. If you can help them win, everything is phony. I will say this. There is already a large group of people, and a lot of them are Browns fans, and those are diehard football fans that are just not going to be accepting. And I think at that position, quite honestly, most of those guys have been loved most of their career because they've typically been the best athlete, right? And so they've been loved. They've been, we had the attaboy conversation with that. It's been more than attaboy. It has been like gushing.
Love fest.
And all the way through college and really up to this point, they really don't face a lot of adversity when it comes to not being loved and not being told how great you are. He's never going to get to that. He is never going to be at the level he's been at basically for most of his life because it's never going to be the same now. No matter what happens, people have already made their judgments. Like Tim said, well, I already kind of knew. I already know how I feel, and I was going to feel the same way, no matter what coming out of that. There's a whole lot of people in that camp. He's going to have to live with that burden. He's going to have to play with that burden, and he's no longer going to be loved to the level that he's been loved for a good portion of his life. And there's going to be people waiting to pounce for every bad game, for every bad throw. Heaven forbid they're not very good for some reason. People will eat him up because they're waiting to pounce. I get it. Some people are really, really strong mentally, right? They can compartmentalize and just put things in boxes and just work around it. I don't know if Deshaun Watson's geared like that or not, if he's wired like that, where he could literally just shove these things in a box in his mind and just not open it up and just la 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 la, doesn't exist, nothing happened, I don't hear anything, I'm just a football player. Like, that sounds great. I don't think that's reality. I think this is going to blow up in their face. I don't believe this is going to work. I don't believe it's going to work. We are never going to see, in my opinion, and we'll see if I'm wrong or not, I don't believe we'll ever see the same Deshaun Watson moving forward that we've seen to this point in his career. You guys want to push back?
I think Cleveland is banking on, because I'm only saying this because of the contract, the guaranteed contract they gave him, $230 million. So they have 230 million reasons why they believe Deshaun Watson will compartmentalize all of that, put it in a box, and when he step on the field,
doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. And as bad as this may sound, athletes, period. Entertainers, period. If you're working as a CEO, whatever, owner, things go on in your life. You have to be able to compartmentalize it and do your job. When we were in Baltimore, it was like, listen, everybody has problems, and we understand that. But when you walk through that door, there's a suitcase, a mental suitcase. You got to set that mental suitcase right there at the door. Because when you walk through that door, nobody's saying, oh, well, he played a bad game because of this going on home and this and that and that and this. No, they're saying you are a professional. You got to understand, everybody in this building has something going on, but everybody doesn't bring it in the building. They're banking on Deshaun Watson that he doesn't bring it in the building. As bad as that may sound.
Well, they've paid him to be
exactly.
Like that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
I don't know if he's like
spectrum.
that or not. I don't know if he's wired like that.
It don't matter. It don't matter. A good example is here. Willie, Darren, myself, we may have things going on at home. Not to the magnitude of Deshaun Watson, but maybe you got an argument with the missus, both of y'all. Or maybe the kids are doing something that, that is just, or DJ may have done something, Bailey may have done something. They're expecting us to drop it before we come to the door or leave it in the car and come in here and do our job, right?
Yep.
That's right. What they're paying us to do. They don't want to hear about all that other. They understand it's there, but they don't want to hear about it. Mm-hmm. They want you to perform. That's what Cleveland is saying to Deshaun Watson. We know you got a lot of problems, but we're giving you $230 million guaranteed to make sure you don't walk into this building with those problems.
It just seems so desperate to me that you would let it ride like that with that much guaranteed money. It just is set up for.
They doubled down essentially. Willie.
Yes,
that's all they did.
They did.
I think it's set up for failure.
That's a good way of putting it. It's a double down. So you're saying set up for failure.
I think it's set up for failure.
If it is, it's not just a regular failure. It's an epic failure.
It's a franchise
because
failure.
They doubled down.
It'll be a franchise failure. It will.
Oh yeah, and this is a franchise that has been at the bottom as
for
we
a
know.
long time, for decades.
So it's a desperate put all the chips in. And the thing about this to me is it's a lingering thing. This is not resolved.
No.
Even though, there's no criminal. It's like as soon as they had that line that we saw on the crawler, no criminal charges. Oh, all right. The Browns said, okay, we can do this
Shop
now.
is open.
We can do this now. And they still had to offer unprecedented money for a guy that you would think would be a bargain.
Picks.
Like we would think you could maybe get him. Like most of the time when you take a guy with issues like this, you're getting him cheap. That's usually, think about the Eagles getting Michael Vick. They got him cheap, and he was good. That's the justification. The guy Ozuna from the Astros, Roberto Ozuna, great closer, had a domestic violence issue. The Astros, they held their breath. They kind of said, this is not good, but hey, we can get this guy. Nobody wants him. And they got him for cheap. The Browns are taking the chance and the PR hit and paying him ridiculous amounts of money and trading
3 first-round picks.
Yes.
Second time in NFL
They're
history.
all in.
You talk about pressure
all
to
in.
deliver.
That's why I'm saying it's set up for
yes,
failure.
It is.
It's set up for failure.
And here's the other part. Mike Vick, he had come out of jail. So he could look everybody in the face and say, look, this is behind me. This was a bad thing, and I paid a price.
I served my
went
time.
to jail.
Yep.
So people
lost a lot of money.
Yeah, lost
Lots.
a ton. I mean, so you could look at him and say, man, this guy, he's paid a price. Okay, and some people would say, don't give him a second chance, but others were like, okay, at least he's paid a price. Deshaun Watson, it's still a big cloud. And it's going to maybe a long time
Well, you're
before
not
we
going to make anybody feel better by what you're saying.
And he can't talk about it. That's the other thing. He couldn't go in. A lot of times what you see is the athlete goes up there and says, look, I made a mistake. I feel terrible about it. Like even Kobe Bryant was able to, after his thing, when it was resolved, he was at least able to show some empathy.
The thing in
I'm
Denver?
sorry
The thing
this
in
happened.
Denver?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry that it happened.
Yep.
It was taken different ways. He had to be careful on how he said it, but he was able to show some sort of remorse for, like, he wished that hadn't happened. But Deshaun Watson, tell me, you watched the press conference. He can't even really talk about it.
Nope. And
because it's not resolved.
And looked very, very uncomfortable the whole time.
Because he knew whatever he said could be used against him in a civil case.
Well, that contract is going to get used against him, too. Don't forget, for the people that have formed their opinions, it's not going to get – it only makes things worse. Now, it's great for him. But you think that comforts people that have a huge problem with what's being alleged? He took that problem and turned it into the biggest contract in NFL history, guaranteed money. And you think that's going to make people feel better?
No.
They want it to be like that. Oh, this affected his career. Now he comes in on the cheap. Now he's got to regain the trust. He's got to rebuild his image. He's got to go through all these steps. Not Deshaun Watson. He sat out a year, and boom, Browns gave him everything.
So if it doesn't work, it's not like another guy we talked about, Evander Kane, right? All kinds of baggage, issues. Why was Edmonton able to justify it? We got him cheap.
On the cheap.
And if it doesn't work, we'll just cut him. If the Browns have to cut Deshaun Watson or he's suspended, they pay an enormous price.
Sinks them.
They don't get those draft picks back.
We'll talk to Duke play-by-play guy at 1 o'clock, so we'll find out about this Blue Devils team that have punched their ticket in the Final Four coming up at 1 o'clock. Back to wrap up the third hour next.
It's been a busy offseason for the Tennessee Titans.
I think this is a one-year prove-it deal for Austin Hooper.
Big move for the Titans. Robert Woods. He fits what they want to do.
Harold Landry. I think he likes playing here. The Titans keep the cap number small. Landry got exactly what he wanted.
Now the focus shifts to the draft. What needs do the two-tone Blues still have?
Who can contribute right now?
Keep it locked to Nashville's best sports talk.
Talking Titans
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Cloudy, breezy, and warm this afternoon with a high of 75 degrees. Strong to severe storms will be possible tomorrow evening.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Your Nashville Predators are making a push to the playoffs. Join us for some of the biggest games of the season. Secure your seats to be a part of the action. Your Nashville Predators take on the Minnesota Wild on April 5th and the Florida Panthers on April 9th for Saturday night in Smashville. Single game tickets are available now. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets. Grab your seats today to ensure you don't miss the next golden moment. It's your Preds taking on the Wild and Panthers on April 5th and 9th. Grab tickets, NashvillePredators.com/tickets.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about my friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring is here. If your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of the Spring Hill Spring Special for a limited time only. Save up to $1,000 with Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit that lasts with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months no-interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company.
Out on the trail today, I noticed the signs of spring. A purple lilac, a monarch butterfly, crisp, cool air, and fresh, bright sunshine. And all this beauty puts me in the mood to head over to my favorite adult beverage depot, Red Spirits and Wine, where I can load up the wagon with the best wines, whiskey, and brews to wet my whistle. At Red, you'll always find the best selection and value, but their Cracker Jack crew is flat out second to none. Just square-dealing folks and straight shooters with great recommendations, and they never come off like some of those big-talking fancy pantsers that are just totally full of, well, let's just say fertilizer. Red Spirits and Wine is the only place I do my trading, and once you've seen Red, there just ain't no sense in looking elsewhere. It's like British pop singer Billy Ocean once said, no more love on the run. Red Spirits and Wine is the real deal. Open 7 days a week at Highway 70 South and Old Hickory Boulevard. And follow Red on Facebook and Instagram as well. We'll see you at Red.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and Nashville SC's new home, Geodis Park, is nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Secure your season tickets now. Come on and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Don't forget Smashville Live tomorrow night, 6 o'clock hour here on these airwaves. You can watch it also on the game's Twitch, Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. Smashville Live every Wednesday during the 6 o'clock hour. Brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Back here on the DDC, Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Derek Mason with you. Andrew, down in the borough, on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com, thinks I am crazy. Says, if you don't think Watson isn't going to play just as good as he's been playing, you're out of your mind. He's the highest paid player in history and injury-free. Put the emotions to the side. Look, I'm willing to bet you. I'm just telling you. It's just my opinion. That's your opinion. Just because you're the highest paid player doesn't mean squat. What does that mean? It means nothing. It just means you're the highest paid player, and good for you. You're set for life, especially with the guaranteed money. I'm just telling you, I think this thing is set up. It is set up for failure. It is set up to blow up in the Browns' face. 3 first-round picks, all this money invested in him, and a cloud, a constant cloud. Now, Derek, you're right. If they come out and they're 11-0 to start the regular season, it's amazing. That group just gets a little bit smaller, keeps getting smaller and smaller the more success they have. But you tell me how they're going to make this work. Oh, by the way, they got to do something with Baker Mayfield. Tim Hasselbeck said they'll probably have to release him. Well, there's $18 million in dead money. So they have to manage a cap. They have Deshaun Watson making, what, $46 million a year? Dead money in Baker Mayfield. No first-round draft picks for a good while. And, oh, by the way, you still got to try to compete in a loaded conference and a loaded division. Okay. We'll see how that goes. If Deshaun Watson returns to form after sitting out a year last year and he's just same old guy, he's able to put things to the side, put it in that box, just shove it in there on Sundays and never think about it, never be affected by the questions, never be affected by what people say on social media, never be affected whenever he is in public and someone comes up to him and makes a really, really rude remark or says something really nasty to him. Yeah, okay, I guess if you're a robot, sure. None of that will come into play. He'll just go out there and be himself, be who he's always been. Look, he is never going to be who he's always been. You can't. Not when you're at this point, not when you're at this stage, not when you're at this. You're never going to be viewed the same, ever. No. So don't tell me he's going to be the same player. Now, you may end up being right, Andrew. Maybe so. Well, hey, come back at me and we'll discuss it down the road, way down the road. Let's find out. But right now, I'm telling you today, I feel like this thing is set up for failure in Cleveland.
Well, I mean, again, it has the potential to fall apart because not only have you basically your franchise is strapped to a quarterback that's guaranteed over $200 million, and he has this huge cloud over his head. Which means you got to make this work somehow, some way. Which means you're going to end up overpaying for guys to come to go to Cleveland. Why? Because you want at least one Super Bowl out of this ordeal. At least one. You feel if you can get one Super Bowl out of this, not an AFC championship game, not winning the North, not being the number 1 seed, no, a Super Bowl. If you get a Super Bowl out of this, then you can justify it, or you can reconcile it within yourself that you made the right decision because you won a Super Bowl, and that's all it's about. Winning a championship in every sport, it's about winning that championship, and if you can win one, then you can justify it. It's going to be tough for him. I think he's still going to play well. And I think he's going to have people around him. So when he does go places like you said, Darren, and someone comes up to him and says something out of line in regards to what he's going through, you got to have somebody there with you, protecting you, so you don't make an emotional reaction in that moment, which I'm pretty sure with that type of money he has, he will. You know, but again, you're putting this franchise is right now, this whole franchise from the day they sign him until whenever is strapped to Deshaun Watson and the decision you made to bring him on this team. Because if it works out, then there are a lot of people that are praising you. Browns fans are praising you because they haven't won a championship, since the 60s. But if it doesn't work out, now you got to explain all this.
Oh, yeah.
And now you've set your franchise back potentially decades, at least a decade.
If you were the Browns, let me just, I don't know who the group of people would be, but I can see somebody from the Browns, maybe somebody from Watson's inner circle going to him and saying, Deshaun, you're getting a lot of money here. I don't know what happened or didn't happen. You got these suits out there. Find a way to settle this thing. Just settle it. Get some closure on it before this season starts so that you can look everybody in the eye and say this thing is over. I mean, he has so much money now coming his way. I don't know what this is civil suits. We know it could, I don't know what the range is.
It could go to court. It could not go to court.
Right. But wouldn't you want it, if there's any way to settle this thing, regardless if you have to have some admission of guilt here, I would be, to me, that would be the best thing for his career going forward. That's just a theory that I would have. Would you guys buy that? Or
If I didn't do anything, and this is just how I feel, and I feel this way for a reason. If I didn't do anything, let's go to court.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. Now, I am not going to just give somebody something if I didn't do anything.
Right.
Now, because my thing is, if you've done something, you will pay them. If you didn't do anything, I'm not paying someone just to go away.
That's 100% true. I'm going on the assumption, like Darren said, you got 22. It's not one person. It's 22 people. How many is it? 22 people? 22 people. Something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened. Let's end this thing.
I think it's pretty good advice. Right now, caller 5-615-737-1025. That's our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Lucky caller 5. Thanks for listening to the show. It pays to listen. You'll win a pair of tickets to see Collective Soul with special guest Switchfoot at the Opry House on Sunday, September 11th. Caller 5-615-737-1025. We'll talk about the Duke Blue Devils to kick off the final hour next.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Most shoppers today fall into one of two categories. You could be like Dave, who settles for nothing but the finest.
I drive only European luxury sedans, wear the finest Italian leather shoes, my shirts are custom made, and I expect white glove service from those I do business with. I appreciate world-class brands, and at this point in my life, I just don't want to compromise on quality, no matter what I buy.
Or you might be like Steve, whose goal is to always get the best deal.
I'm frugal. I'm all about finding value. I want the best price, and I don't mind going out of my way to get it. I work hard for my money. I just want to make sure when I buy something, I can have confidence in knowing I'm not overpaying for it. Stop being cheap. It's being smart.
You never see these two guys in the same store. Except for one.
That's why I shop at Genesis Diamonds.
Genesis Diamonds is that rare shopping experience where you can have it all. Uncompromising luxury and unbeatable value. Exceptional service and the guaranteed best price in America. A premium experience and a smart purchase. This is where the best of all worlds come together. Genesis Diamonds, voted best jewelry store year after year. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
All right, I had to come back from Vegas and tell you about Vegas and tell you about BetMGM. I sat in a BetMGM sports book while in Vegas. It was fantastic. And now you can pull out your app because they want to welcome you with a special offer on the NBA. All you have to do is place a $10 moneyline wager on any game, and if either team hits a three-pointer, you'll win $200 in free bets, just like that. Just use the code 1025GAME200 when you make your first bet. It's that simple. Plus, you'll be able to earn BetMGM rewards points that can be redeemed for online bonuses, or you can convert them into comps for rooms like I did in Vegas, restaurants, and more at over 20 MGM resorts nationwide. BetMGM is proud to be an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. So download the app or go to BetMGM.com. Use that code 1025GAME200 to win $200 in free bets if either team hits a three-pointer. Just visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
From curriculum-based literacy programs and sport leagues to college tours and workforce readiness tracks, Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provide a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. You can support local youth and their great futures by donating at bgcmt.org.
Coach's Corner Sports Grill, nestled in Spring Hill, Tennessee, is your hometown sports bar. Coaches, players, grandparents, parents, kids, all are welcome. Hang out after a ball game or watch your team win on the big screens. Try their signature hand-patted burgers from the All-American to the X's and O's. Or choose something from the dog pound, such as their chili cheese dog. And don't forget to wash it all down with their 20-plus beers on tap. Coach's Corner Sports Grill, open every day with daily food and drink specials for lunch and dinner. Off Port Royal Road in Spring Hill. Online at coachescornersportsgrill.com.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUZ HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Final hour on this Tuesday afternoon. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Derek Mason. Let's talk a little Final Four. Villanova, Kansas. We'll get things started on Saturday. The nightcap will be North Carolina and Duke. What a tournament it has been. The voice of the Blue Devils, David Shoemate, is on the line with us. David, I've been kicking myself over and over and over again. My bracket was in the trash the first night. I had Kentucky winning it all. Stupid. And I should have known Duke was going to make the run in
Homer.
Coach K's final season, that he was going to make the magical run to the end. I'm still kicking myself. But in all seriousness, Duke has played. I was really impressed in that game against Arkansas. Every time Arkansas tried to make a run, that timeout was huge. I guess when Arkansas cut it to 5, and then after that timeout, Duke just controlled the game the rest of the way. You've had a great seat to this point. What have you seen?
Well, it's funny. I would assume part of the reason you didn't have Duke in your bracket was because of what happened at the end of the regular season. And then what happened in the ACC championship game against Virginia Tech in Brooklyn. Yep. And in some respects, that's probably what led to this success in the NCAA tournament. It refocused them. It seemed like they've been a lot looser group the last couple of weeks and had a little bit of practice time before they went down to the first two games in Greenville, where they played the first and second round and really got back to their defensive principles and communicating better on the defensive end. And that leads to this team, I should say, to better offense consistently. And they certainly needed it last weekend against Texas Tech and Arkansas. Two very different teams, but two really good defensive teams. There's just been a different level of intensity in terms of the preparation, in terms of one of Coach K's biggest things when he's in practice working with the guys or in games is telling them to talk while they're playing because it raises their intensity. And particularly with Banchero, when I'm at practice, there's been a noticeable change in him the last few weeks. He's been more vocal. And I think you can kind of draw a direct line to that and the overall lifting of the play of this team. And obviously Jeremy Roach, the point guard, who's been awfully good here in the postseason, has been another key. But no, it's come together very quickly because it wasn't in a very good place when they left Brooklyn.
How in the world, with the program's success, plural, North Carolina and Duke, have they never met in the NCAA tournament? Like, I heard that the first time, I'm like, there's no way that's true. Well, it's true.
No, it's crazy. I mean, and normally, like, when you look at the brackets, as you said, it's hard to predict, but they always end up on other sides, and you think it might be in the Final Four, it might be in the championship game. It's just never materialized. I believe the closest it's been was actually when Duke won it for the first time in '91. Duke beat UNLV, and Kansas, with Roy Williams, ended up beating North Carolina, and then obviously the Blue Devils won in the title game. But no, it's wild. It's just one of those things, as many times as they've played, that it's never come together in the NCAA tournament. And obviously that's going to add juice to the rivalry. But in some respects, while the rivalry is a huge part of the storyline, maybe more so it's about winning a championship, and you don't want to get so caught up in that. Mike Krzyzewski just talked with the media and said, if you get too caught up in that and, payback or what have you, decent chance you're going to lose on Saturday, and you're definitely going to lose on Monday if you can win on Saturday, because Kansas and Villanova are obviously really good as well. So there's layers to it. The rivalry is certainly part of it, but you got to be focused on having a chance to go play for a national championship, and that's what's got to be most important.
We're talking with David Shoemate, voice of the Duke Blue Devils men basketball team. Now, David, regardless on how this ends for the Duke Blue Devils and Coach Krzyzewski, he has six national championships under his belt. Is this a win-win for him no matter what?
Well, I don't think anything's going to change what he's accomplished, and you just touched on it. The 5 national titles, the 13 Final Fours, breaking a tie with Wooden over the weekend, all the wins he's piled up in the tournament alone, now 101 and more than 1,200 overall. His legacy is baked in. But as he's talked about the last few weeks in particular, the legacy of this team is not fully baked yet. And this is about their journey, not to get cliche, but, collectively, it's the first time for a lot of these guys to not only be in a Final Four, but to play in the NCAA tournament with the season the way it ended in 2020 with the pandemic, and then Duke not qualifying last year. Guys like Wendell Moore Jr., who's a captain on this team, a junior, had never played in the NCAA tournament before. Obviously, the one and dones have not. So in some respects, the 75-year-old head coach has like a youthful enthusiasm to him the last few weeks, because he's experiencing through these guys some firsts. And in a career that's gone on for quite some time, you don't get to see that very often, and I think it's rejuvenated him the last couple of weeks. But in terms of his legacy, no, I don't know what you guys think. To me, that's kind of fully baked, and this would just be icing on the cake.
Now, where do you think this program goes once once the season's over with and Coach K rides off into the sunset? We saw it with Carolina. They went from Dean Smith, Roy Williams, and now Hubert Davis. But after Dean, there was a lull in the program. It seems like they've gotten themselves back on right footing. But do you expect possibly that happening to Duke?
I don't think so, and part of it is because I get to see it up close. And it's interesting because a lot of this year has been built around, the national storylines have been built around coaches last season, and people called a retirement tour, people called it a bunch of different stuff. But he has really stuck to that this was about continuity, particularly for recruiting and getting in. Whoever was going to be the next head coach turned out to be someone on his staff, an associate head coach, John Shire. And I think, for those that follow recruiting, Duke is doing very well, not just in the upcoming class, but the class beyond that. And I think that's because of the plan that they've implemented, that there is going to be continuity one to the next. And, I've spent a lot of time around John Shire, done a podcast with him, get to see him work. Obviously, he's an elite recruiter and identifies with this generation really well. But he thinks about the game differently. He is a basketball savant. He reminds me of someone else I've worked with these last 5 years, talking about Coach K. It sees the game in ways that a lot of other people don't, and has an ability to teach the game to players that I think is unique. So I don't foresee any drop-off, and I think that's not just because of who John Shire is and what he's done and accomplished as a player and a coach, but also because of the plan that's been laid out for Mike Krzyzewski, that you're not necessarily starting from scratch at the end of the season. This has been building, and they've been putting the pieces in place over the course of the last year.
Talking to David Shoemate. He is the radio play-by-play voice for the Duke Blue Devils in the Final Four, taking on North Carolina. David, one more on Shire, because I'm really curious about that whole thing. As you said, it's been so well planned out. They've got this vision. They want to keep it moving. They want that continuity that you're shooting for when a legend steps down, but it's so hard to do when you look at some of the different programs there. Tell me what you think we're going to see. You know Shire better. We haven't seen him in the public eye at the podium talking about his team or talking about a game. Do you think he's got that part of it? The charisma. What type of things can you tell us about his personality?
He definitely has the charisma. He's very engaging, and I think his recruiting success speaks to that. And he's very comfortable with the media. He is very different from Coach, and that's okay. I think he has more of I kind of liken it to an NBA head coach's vibe to him. He may not get after the referees quite like Coach K does from time to time. You might not see so much outward fire on the sidelines, but that doesn't mean he's not a fiery competitor. He just does it a little bit differently. His mannerisms are a little bit more calm in game. They're just different people. But, no, he definitely has that charisma, and interpersonally, particularly one-on-one communication, he has that same ability that Coach K has to read people. I mean, I call it emotional intelligence. Mike Krzyzewski is maybe the most emotionally intelligent person I've ever been around, of knowing, maybe when anybody on his staff or players, whether you need maybe a little bit of a push, maybe you need a little bit of a wake-up call, or maybe you need to just get picked up and a little bit of a lift. And I think John Shire has some of those traits as well of how to read people, how to work with people, and how to communicate. Like I said, stylistically, yeah, he's going to be a little bit different from Coach, but I think in the end, they approach it the same way. It's about people, and then obviously the basketball side of it they know really well.
So the two teams obviously have played twice. They're very familiar with one another. What is the most intriguing matchup to you, David, when they take the court? What's the key for Duke to succeed?
Well, I mean, I think the matchup inside is what draws everybody's eyes, and because, from the Duke perspective, you've got Paulo Banchero, depending on which projection you want to look at. He's either the 1, 2, or 3 pick coming up in the draft this spring at 6'10", 250. He presents so many problems, particularly when he plays at the 4, because you've got Mark Williams as a rim protector, 7-footer inside, who's been playing really good here in the postseason, already has 110 blocks on the year, a 7'7" wingspan. And on the other side, you got a double-double machine in Armando Bacot, who can really pile up fouls on others, has gotten into foul trouble at times himself. So I think that matchup inside is going to be interesting to see who can control things, because over the years, the rebounding battle has been pretty indicative of who wins this game between these two, particularly from a Duke perspective. You want to try to keep North Carolina off of the offensive glass, not just because Bacot can create his own opportunities, but then, of course, you get the shooters good looks, whether that be a Brady Manick, whether that be a Caleb Love, and you don't want North Carolina to get going from 3.
So we can expect, because we saw the energy when they played last game of the season, Carolina and Duke. So we can assume and expect the energy to be times that when they play this upcoming weekend.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, one, Cameron's unique, but 9,314 is what you can fit in there. I think it's 70,000 plus that are going to be at the Superdome on Saturday night. So that's going to be crazy in and amongst itself. The fans are certainly going to be fired up and into it. I will say, though, I think it's going to be a little bit different, because there was also a heaviness to that game because of what Coach K has built here at Duke, and knowing that it's his final game at Cameron, and so many former players there. There was I don't want to say sadness, but there was a lot of emotion tied to it as well that was kind of adjacent to the game. And I think in this game, all of the energy and all the emotion is going to be tied to winning the game, if that makes sense. And I think that's going to take the play up to another level, at least from a Duke perspective.
Last 30 seconds. Can you explain to me, because I laughed, but I didn't know the context. I don't know what happened. Tracy Wolfson asked, was it Paolo after the game, who he wanted to see, and he's like, "You're not going to get me with that question." I laughed out loud. I thought it was a funny response from a kid in college. Can you help me? What was the story behind that? Do you know?
Yeah, he was referencing an interview with Holly Rowe that happened after Duke had beaten Miami in the semifinals of the ACC tournament, and Virginia Tech and North Carolina were playing next, and Holly Rowe had asked him who he wanted, and he said UNC.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
And then Virginia Tech beat Duke in the ACC championship game. So that's what he was referencing, saying you're not going to get me this time.
That makes a ton of sense. Hey, really appreciate the visit. Enjoy your time down in New Orleans. It's going to be outstanding. We can't wait to watch here from Nashville. Thanks for doing this, David. We'll talk to you down the road.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
David Shoemate, he is the voice of the Blue Devils. And, of course, they will be the second game in the Final Four against North Carolina. Two teams that have never met in the NCAA tournament. Hard to believe. More DDC. On the other side, ESPN 102.5, The Game.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
All right, so we got obviously some more games coming up this week and this weekend. And, you know, I'm going to be out with the crew. I'm going to hang out and have a good time, and I'm going to order a Screwball peanut butter whiskey because that is my go-to when I'm out with my friends. And I love enjoying games while sipping on a Screwball peanut butter whiskey, whether it's a shot or a drink. You can have it on the rocks. You can have it as a peanut butter old-fashioned. You can do an espresso martini, a PB&J shot with a berry liqueur. There's a lot of different things that you can do with a Screwball peanut butter whiskey. You can go to their website, screwballwhiskey.com, and learn more about some of their recipes. But you know why I like it so much? It's an original, just like me. It's all natural flavored, and it's made with real whiskey, peanuts, and peanut butter. And it is fantastic. So when you're out with your friends, do like me and order a great tasting whiskey. That's Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors. 35% alcohol by volume.
The racing, the big one, the camping. It's all just bigger at Talladega. The Talladega NASCAR Weekend, April 23rd through the 24th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Markdown Madness is almost over, but Electronic Express is still bringing slam dunk deals. Watch the finals with 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department: computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Experience Markdown Madness at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Willie Donick here. If you need cash for that home improvement or want to finally be credit card debt-free, how does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound right now? Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy, zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off all your high-interest debt or remodel your kitchen, or both. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. In fact, Loan Pronto does zero down purchases for veterans buying a new home. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780. Or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
If you've experienced a concussion, the injury can result in temporary chemical changes inside the brain that can cause it to function improperly. The signs and symptoms may occur immediately or take several days to appear. The experienced doctors at Houston Clinic Orthopedics can diagnose your concussion and get you feeling back to normal with therapy and rehabilitative exercises. If you experience head injury signs such as headache, dizziness, nausea, sensitivity, ringing in ears, or problems with memory, balance, vision, or concentration, visit tn.houston.com to learn more and to book an appointment. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Every Wednesday at 6, we go behind the glass with current and former Predators players, along with coaches and broadcasters for Nashville Live.
Yost, Hal, and I were just talking about last night's game. It was a big game for us.
Presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Don't forget, if you're looking for another chance to win a bracket challenge, got a 4-team game bracket challenge for the Final Four on the game. Go to thegamenashville.com/bracket challenge now for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Shine down at Bridgestone Arena, where we are on May 4th. The game bracket challenge is brought to you by Coach's Corner Sports Grill in Spring Hill, Days Delta 8, and Wager. Congratulations to Chris Miller. Chris was listening and was lucky caller 5, and now Chris will go take in Collective Soul and Switchfoot at Opry House on Sunday, September 11th. Good stuff from David Shoemate and the Final Four. It's been a great tournament. It really has. I didn't think Sunday was great, but overall the tournament has been really good, and now you have Villanova and Kansas, North Carolina, and Duke on Saturday. It'll all start at just after 5 o'clock on TBS. They're playing in New Orleans. It's 5:10, I guess, our time, and then about 7:50 in the nightcap for North Carolina and Duke. So good opportunity to watch some really, really good basketball. I feel strong about both games. I really do. Maybe I shouldn't say this because I know we've got Pick 6 on Friday, but I do. I feel very strong about both games. I'm here to declare that the national championship game on Monday night will be Duke versus Kansas.
Oh.
A replay of 1991.
Duke versus Kansas. 91?
1991. Duke over Kansas. One of the key players in that game for Duke, Billy McCaffrey, who then transferred to Vanderbilt and became the SEC Player of the Year, 2-time All-American at Vanderbilt. After I think he had 14 or 16 points in that game, and then was like, I'm out of here. And we were like, ooh. And then next thing you know, he was a Commodore.
He's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Vanderbilt.
He didn't say it that day. I mean, there was a recruiting trip and everything. We were all there, but we were like, man, everybody had the same question. Like, you just won the national championship. Why do you want to come here? We're glad to have you, though.
Well, come on down. But
we are glad to have you, my man.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, man. And he's become one of my good friends. What a great player.
Duke versus Kansas. Here to tell you. There you go. That's some free tips right there.
Free tips.
Free stuff.
I think that's – so tell me why you think Duke is going to atone for what happened at Cameron.
One, they've got the – built in, right? Everybody remembers that game. And look, that did factor into me picking against them. I would have never thought they were going to lose that game to North Carolina at the end of the regular season. I would have never thought they were going to lose to Virginia Tech in the ACC championship. And I was like, oh, maybe this is not going to happen. And then Texas Tech looked like a really strong matchup, and it was a really good game, obviously. But I was like, I should have known better. Why did I pick Duke? Of course they're going to make this magical run for Krzyzewski. What was I thinking? But it's going to be Duke and Kansas. I think they're going to atone for that loss. I think they will bounce back. They got embarrassed in that game. I mean, they really did. And look, North Carolina is flying high. I get it. But Duke, one, they've been shooting out of their mind at times in this tournament, right? But we'll see if that – we always talk about this. You do have the element of the big arena, right? Now they get to the big football stadium. And so the depth perception, right? It's like who's going to handle – this is not what you typically are playing. You're playing in these arenas, and now you've got this vast area behind the goals, right? And so they'll have to adjust to that. But in the end, I think Duke will. I think Duke will get it done. And I think Kansas-Villanova is a really intriguing matchup. But, man, I hate that kid got hurt.
Yeah.
Justin Moore. I hate it because that's going to affect Villanova. I hate that he got hurt at the end of the game and he's out. And I just think Kansas, who, a lot of people don't root for Bill Self these days.
Yeah.
As much as I would like to pick Villanova, I don't believe they're going to win. I think Kansas and Duke will be the national championship game on Monday night. Anybody feel differently?
It's hard to root against Duke because they've been playing so well.
I find it easy to root against Duke. Root against Duke.
Yeah, root against.
But pick against Duke, I don't know.
It's hard to pick against them right now because they're playing so well now. I mean, I know many people will pick against them just because they're Duke. That's it. But the way they have been playing, it's hard to pick against them. But Carolina has been playing really good as well, and I think it's gonna come down to the two big men, of Carolina and Duke. How much do they try to pound it in the inside to their big guys, and if that is impeded in any way, then how well do they shoot from the outside? Because that's one reason I never trusted Kentucky, because if Sheboy wasn't doing it in the inside, those guys didn't prove that they can hit the shot night in and night out on the outside. I think Duke do have shooters as well as Carolina, but if it becomes this matchup of, we're going to get into our bigs and this is how we're going to roll, I'm picking UNC. I am.
You're going to ride the wave.
I'm riding the light blue wave.
I still flash back to that moment against Baylor where everything was unraveling. They blew the 25-point lead. It went to overtime, and I'm thinking, there's no way North Carolina is going to survive this game. They're done. And they won in overtime, and since then it's like they've become even more galvanized. And remember, too, I remember Elijah talking about this a lot in our bubble updates. They had like one quality win, and it wasn't even that sexy of a win up until they beat Duke at Cameron Indoor on the last day. Their schedule was kind of blah. There was all kinds of people saying, hey, if that weren't North Carolina, we wouldn't even been talking about this team.
But people were saying that about Duke. If it wasn't Duke, then they wouldn't have been the seed that they were in.
Yeah, people did think Duke was overseeded.
Exactly.
But they do have some star players, and they had some, but still, it's just it's one of the more unique seasons in North Carolina history, especially with Hubert Davis being the coach, and you've got that whole dynamic going on. Now, you talk about getting off to a good start. He's got that foundation now. He's got credibility. That's going to help him going forward.
It's always dangerous when the Blue Bloods are an 8 seed. We've seen this before, right? When they're a low seed. Mm-hmm. I remember when Kentucky was the 8 seed. Is that the year they beat Wichita State when they were the 1 seed, and weren't they undefeated?
Correct.
They were like 36-0, something like that. And Kentucky took them down. They were the 8 seed.
And then went to the national championship game.
And went to the national championship game. I mean, typically, it's a pretty scary proposition when you see the blue blood teams as an 8 seed.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But I don't think it's going to help them.
Oh, so you don't think the 8 seed is going to help the Tar Heels?
What's the line?
It's 4. Duke is 4. Duke is favored by 4.
I've been picking against Duke a lot, and I've been burnt.
Kansas,
I had
4.5.
See, that's why I said it's the way they've been playing. It's hard to pick against them.
Yeah,
but I'm picking Carolina.
I was impressed how easily
and I'm gonna put on my Carolina blue Jordans on too that day.
Were you guys surprised how easily they dispatched Arkansas? I was. Of course, I picked Arkansas, so
that second half they do.
Yeah, it was just like
well, they got within 5, like
yeah.
I said, and Duke called a timeout, and then after that, they just could not get they couldn't get anything going.
Duke zoned them too and just made them shoot.
I felt like Duke had their arms. It was like the Little Rascals bit, right? And they're just swinging,
really from the
and they're
get-go.
just like holding their head. And Arkansas swinging, and they're not making contact.
Yeah, really from the get-go. I mean, that moment you said, but even in the first half, Arkansas was like running uphill, trying to keep up. I got to keep up, and they would make a run, get a little closer, and then just get knocked back down.
A lot of people were talking about the overtime rule in the NFL. Apparently, they were talking about it at the meetings, and they have decided to come out with a little bit of a rule change concerning NFL overtime. We'll discuss that on the other side. Good idea, bad idea, like it, don't like it. We'll tell you all about it next here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The trade deadline is come and gone.
I guess we'll see what happens with Forsberg riding this thing out.
The Predators can now focus on the final stretch to the playoffs.
We're a good team. We're a hard team to play against.
We are your flagship home of the Nashville Predators radio network.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Hillside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free. Plus, a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
To understand what makes Genesis Diamonds so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back over 40 years to the diamond cutting capital of Tel Aviv, Israel. That's where Genesis owner Boaz Ramon grew up, in the center of the diamond universe. His connections with the best diamond cutters allowed him special access, giving rise to a thriving wholesale business here in the United States. Then, after a few years, this wholesaler changed the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices he had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success. Today, Genesis Diamonds provides that extraordinary value to people right here in Middle Tennessee, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best price of any jewelry store in America. Genesis Diamonds, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Genesis Diamonds, now with a stunning Omega Watch Boutique, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Buffalo Sabres this Friday. Puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Come float at Float Horizon in East Nashville. Come float to relax, recharge, renew. Float to boost your mood and enjoy a pleasant afterglow that lasts for days. Float to escape or meditate. And come float for half off with Nashville's best deal of the week. Experience a 60-minute float session for just $39.50. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals to get your float on today. Lay back and experience the wonders of true relaxation at Float Horizon at 1012 Russell Street in Nashville and floathorizon.com.
Tonight,
with the feathery touch.
It's a battle in the association.
Corner three is all the money from Bullock. Dallas leads.
As the LA Lakers head to Dallas to take on the Mavericks. Coverage begins at 6
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Thank you, Roman. Predators and Senators tonight, 7 o'clock puck drop. P. Weber and Hal Gill will have your call on these airwaves. I'll have pregame for you at 6 over on the television side, Bally Sports. Willie and the crew get their coverage getting started at 6:30. Preds and Senators tonight. We'll get into that in the final segment of the show. But right now, the NFL has come out of their meetings in Palm Beach, which, hey, it's tough doing meetings in Palm Beach.
Oh, isn't it interesting that the NHL GM meetings are also
crazy
in Florida as well?
Down there.
Right down the street.
With white sand and salt water.
Nice breeze.
Yeah, that's weird.
Ice
Couple
cream.
pina coladas.
Yeah.
Whatever you like to drink.
Yep.
Yeah, those palm trees. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. Yeah, we don't have those here.
Ooh.
No, but it's weird. They need those meetings down there in Palm Beach. So both teams are assured now of a possession in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
I'm okay
in
with
overtime.
that.
That
I'm okay
is
with that.
the rule change approved by the NFL owners. Derek, you've been following the play-by-play blows of this. Take us through the steps.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were two proposed rule changes. One of them was from the Tennessee Titans, which they proposed, in their proposal, it would allow for both teams with the first possession in overtime to win only with a touchdown and a successful two-point conversion. Now, the Colts and the Eagles.
Now, hold on a second.
Yes.
So, do you understand what that means? Like, help me understand. Help me help you. What? So, okay, you score the touchdown. You get a 2-point conversion.
Yep.
The other team gets the ball.
No. Under the Titans' proposal, you can only win the game. If you get the ball first, you can only win the game.
If you score the 2-point conversion.
Score the 2-point conversion.
Okay, what if you miss it?
Then the other team has an opportunity.
Okay, they go down and score. And then they miss the 2-point conversion.
Then you keep going.
Well, could they
Keep
kick?
going.
Can they kick?
No.
Can
In
the
this
second
situation,
team
I
kick?
think they would. It doesn't say
Now, why
whether they
you
would have to kick.
Why would the first team has to go for 2, the second team could kick the extra point to
Well,
win?
it doesn't specify whether if you in turn get your possession after said team has missed the 2-point conversion. It doesn't say whether you have to then go for 2 or kick the extra point. It doesn't say in this particular article. I wonder.
It said the Titans withdrew their proposal.
Yes, because I think what possibly could have happened was, well, if the second team come down and score, it's not fair to them that they then have to kick. Well, they would have to go for a 2-point conversion. Because now, if I score, it's a tie game. Why am I going for a 2-point conversion? I can win it with an extra point. That doesn't make any sense. Again, I'm more of a traditionalist. It's like, listen, we go on overtime. It's sudden death. You had 60 minutes to win the ball game, just like I had 60 minutes to win the ball game. We put 15 minutes on the clock. Whoever scores, you play defense. I play defense. If you stop me, fine. You get your opportunity. You score. If I don't stop you, then we keep going. I don't understand this. Well, it's almost like somebody got to win it. Since you didn't win, we're going to give you a participation trophy.
Well,
you had almost just as many opportunities as I did to win this game, and you did.
But you won the coin toss.
But you won the coin toss.
It doesn't matter. You still got to play defense.
So by winning,
you didn't have to play defense.
Coin toss should be thrown out, period, if that's the case. Let's do it like college football. Just put it on the 25 and let's go. Or put it on the 45 and let's go.
Darren, he's on the tropical island with Tim Hasselbeck here.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask this before we get into is it different in the playoffs in your mind than a regular season game?
No, to me it's not. No.
So you're okay with it old school?
I'm okay with it just being
regular season playoffs.
It doesn't matter because we're going down this road. Even in this situation, somebody's going to be upset again. There's going to be 2 or 3 games that come up in this scenario. Somebody's going to be upset. And then what they're going to say?
You're okay
well, we
with
need
ties?
to change them again.
You're okay with ties in the regular season?
I'm good with it. It is what it is. It's football. Things are going to happen.
Answer. That's a yes.
Yes, I'm okay with it. If we've played 60 minutes of football, and then we added another 15 minutes, so that's 75 minutes of football, and nobody scored, I'm not going an extra 10 minutes and playing for a winner. No. Neither one of y'all could figure out a way to win. Let's go into the locker room. It's going to hurt you that nobody could win.
So you're okay with people calling up their bank to get a loan to buy tickets to come to an NFL game and leaving with a tie?
Yep. You went and got a loan for. I don't know why you would want to get a loan for some tickets, but if you did,
because they're expensive.
That's your problem. And that's what the NFL said. That's your problem. You had to go get a loan, not mine.
Don't make your problems my problem.
Exactly.
Okay? Well, lower your prices then.
You got a point there too. They should. But because it's going to keep on going back and forth. And then in another 10 years, there's going to be something wrong with this rule, and then they're going to change it again.
No, I do think you're right about that. You got to stop it somewhere.
Exactly.
But I think each team in the playoffs should each get the ball.
All right, let's see what Dave thinks on our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com. What's up?
Hey, guys. So, over time, the NFL has changed its rules to really favor the offense. Do you guys agree with that?
Well, it's the favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Well, I don't say it's not overtime. It's the league has favored offense.
It's not necessarily favoring the offense
at all times.
It's protecting their players because they know.
Which helps the offense.
Which helps the offense,
right.
Yeah. It's protecting players, which in turn helps offense.
So 15 years ago, or Derek, when you played, would you say that the rule would have been the coin flip rule, one possession, that would have been more fair than now? Because now you're saying that we have to stop. Oh, the defense has to make a stop. Defense has to make a stop. You get Buffalo and Kansas City, and the NFL wants to build teams around offense and flash. Well, the rule for first team that scores a touchdown, that already seems antiquated to me. So now we need to update the rule again based on how the league is going and how teams are looking and what the NFL wants. So that's why I like that this updated rule change.
I understand what you're saying, Dave, and thank you for the call. I get what you're saying, and the way the NFL is going, they would rather see more points scored. They would rather have seen, a 50-51 game in the playoffs because what does it do? It brings more eyes to that game. But again, I always go back to, okay, we gave each team 60 minutes to win this thing. Nobody wanted to win. All right, both teams were great. Defenses were subpar. Never mind, I'm going to say this. Buffalo was supposed to have what? The number one defense in the National Football League, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you take, number one defense in the National Football League.
That was number one through 60 minutes.
Yeah, number one team in the National Football League.
After 60 minutes, they were not the number one defense.
Number one defense in the National Football League, right?
Through 60 minutes.
And they couldn't stop Kansas City. Remind you, who had 15 seconds? Anybody? Can y'all tell me the answer? Ding, ding, ding. Mahomes had 15 seconds, didn't he? 15 seconds. You couldn't stop. You know what?
The kickoff, by the way. The Bills still, the more the time goes by, the more they're going to realize they screwed up the kickoff. That's what
you couldn't stop Mahomes in 15 seconds. You don't deserve to win. You don't.
When
the number one defense, the number one defense in the National Football League can't stop a quarterback. I know it's Mahomes. I get it. I know they have Tyreek and everybody else. But you're the number one defense. 15 seconds. You can't stop them? You don't deserve to win. Don't change the rules. I'm like Mike Tomlin. Don't change the rules, man. Keep them the same. Let's play ball. You stop me, I'll stop you. That's just the way it is. But I understand what Dave is saying because, yes, offenses are more high-powered now. And people want, when Mahomes score, Buffalo fans want their opportunity to score too. Mm-hmm. But Buffalo fans ain't saying that, we got the number one defense, and Kansas City's defense is horrible.
Okay, let me ask you this, though. If Buffalo wins the toss, do they win that game?
I don't know. Possibly because Kansas City's defense is horrible.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
That's the point.
That's the point.
So then Kansas City's fans are mad, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
And that's why in the playoffs, I like an adjustment to the rule. I think you can do that. The regular season, I'm with you, Derek. We got to keep it moving. All right, this is
got to get rid of ties. Got to get rid of these ties.
All right, now y'all gonna see a game going to like 10 overtimes.
It's okay.
And then the next game after that is gonna be trash because all these guys tired.
Goes on in college, although they've changed it,
yeah.
And it's terrible. It's the 2-point thing is silly.
I would
It's
rather
really
have
silly.
that rule where they start off at the 45 than having to go the length of the football field.
It's not good in college. They're gonna have to make a change. All right, we'll come back. A couple people want to weigh in. Scott, we'll start with you on the other side to close out Tuesday's edition of the DDC ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey, this is Phil with Forsberg. And this is Smashville.
Forsberg a shot, broken up in front, give it back to Forsberg, and here come the hat.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Cloudy, breezy, and warm this afternoon with a high of 75 degrees. Strong to severe storms will be possible tomorrow evening.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Did you know that about 80% of new home buyers don't ever shop around for the best mortgage loan? That's a huge mistake. Hey, Willie Donick here. Listen, not all mortgages are created equal, and I'm here to prove it with Loan Pronto. People who use Loan Pronto save on average $3,500 just in closing costs. On top of that, they get a better rate, which saves them thousands more every year. Your banker or agents go to lender. They're fine people, but don't assume they're giving you the best deal. Call Loan Pronto for a quick second opinion or go to loanpronto.com. I'll bet they can get you a better loan, a lower rate, without all those annoying closing costs. What have you got to lose? You compare costs on everything else in your life. Why not do the same with your mortgage? Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Race fans, it's time to fire up the engines at everyone's favorite local track, the Fairgrounds Speedway. Opening night is April 2nd. Nashville will celebrate 118 years of auto racing at the Fairgrounds with the pro late models, limited late models, street stocks, pure stocks, legends, and bandoleros. Get your tickets today at NashvilleFairgroundsSpeedway.racing and be there to kick off the 118th year at Nashville's legendary track. It's opening night at the Fairgrounds Speedway. Coming up April 2nd. Get your tickets today.
This tax filing season could be one for the record books. There are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits on the table, and Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you get every one you deserve. Tax credits for being a parent, taking care of a parent, taking classes, and so much more. Don't leave thousands on the table. Jackson Hewitt will make sure you get credit for all you do and get your biggest refund guaranteed. Learn more and find your nearest location at jacksonhewitt.com.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robbie and Rexroad. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and The Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Hit the road, Jack. Colts and Eagles proposed the mandatory possession for both teams in all games. But they wanted it in the regular season and the playoffs. But the competition committee, Chairman Rich McKay, said there was not enough support for the regular season, only for postseason. It ultimately passed with a vote of 29-3. So I guess if the score remains tied in the postseason after each team has had their possession, the game will be decided in the traditional sudden death.
But then again, you run into a problem. The teams are going to say, well, I didn't get my opportunity to score.
Well, they will. They'll say you did. You had you had a possession.
They had a possession. You had a possession. We tied, and now whoever wins the coin flip has a higher
coin. I guess it just goes back to the other team. Or I don't think there's a coin flip again.
There has to be.
Or is that what you're saying by the traditional set?
Exactly. It goes back to the traditional way of playing overtime. Which again, there are going to be people that say, well, we didn't get our next chance to score, and they did.
All right, let me propose one. Simple, super simple. Try to please you, Derek. And also try to attain what I've been looking for.
Please Tim, too, as well, because Tim is on the island with me.
He's on the island with you. It's a tropical island. We've
yes, and Mike Tomlin. He's on that island.
Mike Tomlin's on the island.
Yep.
What if when you win the coin toss, I want to put some decision-making in your mind. I don't want it to be an automatic, we want the ball. So I say, first score wins, any kind of score. But the team that wins the coin toss, if you want the ball, you start on your own 8-yard line. You have to start on the 8.
Why the 8, Willie?
I'm just coming up with it. You've got to start way deep in your own territory.
Why not just the 20?
Because there's a big difference between starting at the deep in your own. That's why you punt. You try to get the ball inside the 10.
I see what you're saying.
The percentage of a team scoring when they start inside the 10 is a lot different than when you start at the 25 or the 30 or the 35.
I say start at the half-yard line. See if you can punch your way out.
Well, okay.
Or end on a safety.
We can argue over the yard line, but I'm trying to set the yard line to where you have a decision. Right now, I could send anybody out. I could send Maddox out. I could send DJ. I could pick a person out of a crowd and say, go. You be our captain. You do the coin toss for us. If we win, we want the ball. I can send anybody out there. But I want the coach and the captain to have to say, all right, do we want this ball? Who are we playing on defense? Is it windy? We got to start our own X-yard line.
We indoors or outdoors?
We indoors? We're outdoors? Do we have a roof? Is it a retractable roof? How much did we pay for the roof?
Is this a Monday Night Football game in Buffalo?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, what
we'll play defense
Okay,
first.
let me throw it to you this way. What yard line would you have to start on for you to say, I want to kick? I want my defense on the field because I'm going to stop them. They start inside the 10. I'm getting the ball back.
Deep.
So what yard line? What's fair?
Inside the 10, I would say.
10. Okay, that's why I said the 8. You guys looked at me, it was crazy. You guys kind of agreed.
Because you just picked
it's
the 8.
somewhere
That's
in there.
why.
I know.
It's like the tip time, 5:09.
You could let
Villanova,
the stats.
Kansas, 5:09.
You could let the stat people, the analytics people, tell you about the percentages of a team scoring when they start at the whatever yard line.
No, this is how you make I guess this is how you would make the coin toss sort of irrelevant in a sense, is that, listen, if you win the coin toss, if you take it, the other team gets an automatic possession. But if you defer it, that means you're kicking off the other team. Then no. If you take the ball, then the other team
gets the ball guaranteed.
Gets the ball guaranteed.
But if you
defer it, then if they can't win until they can't win, they got to score and they got to go for a 2-point conversion. I'm adding in what the Tennessee Titans said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if they don't get the 2-point conversion, you go down, you score, you get Garrett's point, you win.
I'm confused. My head's going to explode.
Scott, it's so many out there.
You want to weigh in? You got your own formula?
I thought mine was
I
very
mean,
simple.
here's what I'm thinking. I don't like the coin toss at all because you're leaving it up to pure luck. What I'd like to see is whoever has the most offensive yardage, they get to choose they want to go offense or defense. And there is one possession. If you score a touchdown, you win. If you don't score a touchdown, you lose. The defense wins in that scenario. It's very easy. If we want to make a priority on having good quality, both sides of the ball teams, being able, some of these teams might want to go on defense, but the only way you win in that scenario, you start with the ball on the 50, you either score a touchdown and win, or you don't and you lose. The defensive team wins in that scenario.
Okay.
I like his thinking in trying to simplify it. I do think the more complicated it gets, the crazier.
That's why I say you should have left it like it was.
That's why I'm coming to. I try to boil it back down to
the Titans
coin
proposed
toss.
something like that. They said if you have the most sacks, you get the ball. And
which, in the case of the Cincinnati game, had it went in overtime, they would have got the ball.
No matter what you do, you win. So that was their proposal. Team with the most sacks, you get the first possession, and whatever you do, you win.
And if you have a safety in the game, you automatically win because safeties are very rare. But see, I come back, I boil it down to this. The biggest problem people have is the coin toss. Mm-hmm. Make the coin toss a decision. If you can do that.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Then you say, okay, you win the coin toss, you want the ball? All right, you get it on the 8-yard line or the 7-yard line or the 5. Whatever makes it, everybody agrees, all right, that's fair.
What if they play
let's just play
Family Feud? And they do that to decide.
That's complicated.
Play or pass.
That's very complicated.
Listen, it's all.
It may bog it down just a few minutes.
That's a decision.
But you're still a team game. Family Feud is still. It's a family.
Yes.
It's a team game.
Look, you're trying to be funny, but when you try to win on that show, I've always been wondering, right? What percentage of the time does the team
take
play
exactly or pass? Exactly.
Everybody always wants to play because they want to play the game.
I would love to know that.
But isn't it true that your chances might be just as good or better?
We're on the same
by
wavelength.
passing.
Let's get some
But
analytics.
that's what I'm
Let's
saying.
dig into this.
We got to make the coin toss a tough decision.
You know what?
Right now, it's a no-brainer.
Derek, they never pass. It's true. Think about it. Family Feud, they never pass. They're like, hey, you play or pass. They never go, pass. They always like, play.
I remember it happened one time.
I've never seen it.
Richard Dawson back on the show, he was like,
Richard
Dawson.
Oh, no wonder. Goodness, you went way back.
40 years ago in Family Feud, pass.
I just remember he did a double take. He was like, did you say pass? They were like, yeah, we want to pass. They were like, all right, let's go over here.
Did they win?
Like,
the people that passed, did they
they
win?
won. I think it was a smart move. But could be the
You know what would be the
pass.
smartest move? Keeping it the way it was. That'd be the smartest move. You got 60
Here's a smart
minutes.
move.
What's that?
Get two teams out on the 50. Instead of a coin where it's 50-50, you bring a die. Now your chances are 1 in 6. And then if you get it the first try, you get it the first try. I mean, then you could probably pick the ball wherever you want it.
Hey, Elijah,
But then
no.
both teams have a chance.
No, Elijah. Let's do it like the XFL. Put the ball in the middle, and whoever gets to it first.
I like it.
They get the ball in overtime. You score, so be it.
Here's something short and quick. A deck of cards. High card wins. Everybody's got same
That's still
same
coin.
chances.
That's still coin flip.
No, you can shuffle it. You have the automatic shuffler. High card wins.
Darren, it's still coin flip. We should do it like the XFL do it. Put the ball in the middle of the field. Put the two guys on a 40 or whatnot, and both of them run trying to get the ball.
Whoever wants it more wins.
Exactly. Whoever wants it more, they win.
Okay. I think we've got some really good ideas.
There you go.
They should have talked to us. Just saying. All right, that's going to do it for our show today. Family Feud.
Yeah, Willie. That's a
good one. Nobody ever says pass. Nobody ever says pass.
It might be the better play.
You went all the way back to Dawson. Gosh.
That was
Man.
Mr. Inappropriate.
That's what
That's when they were
very inappropriate.
That's when they were wearing bell bottoms.
Hey,
man.
he would have never been a host today.
Oh, heck no.
No.
Lawsuit after lawsuit.
Woo!
Man.
Another family has filed a lawsuit.
Oh, man.
All right, have a great rest of your Tuesday. Be safe. We want you back with us tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. We shall see you then.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Proud to announce that they have won the top